Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gargano Show!
Good morning and happy Wednesday out there to all. Welcome into the Xfinity Studios. And I am not Anthony Gargano, but I am Jamie Lynch, and I'm going to be spending the next 2 hours with you for better or worse. Welcome in to this Wednesday in the Delaware Valley, live from the Xfinity Studios. We have VG in with us as always. We got a lot of guests to get to today, including our own Bo Wulf, to talk about perhaps a special announcement on the stadium today. The station today at 11 a.m. We're giving this new podcaster guy an opportunity to crack a microphone and see what he's got. We'll talk about that. We got Mike Sealski joining us. We got the Brain joining us. We got the Geek joining us for some fantasy football talk. We got you all covered. We are going to get to Kyle Schwarber and the Phillies momentarily, but we're going to start the day with the good news yesterday. We all kind of thought it was coming. Jalen Carter is not going to be suspended for the Eagles game this Sunday. I will admit, like all of you, Philadelphia kind of pessimism, conspiracy theorists out there. I went, as soon as the Chiefs lost, I was like, oh, no way. They're going to suspend him so the Chiefs can't go 0-2. The NFL and Raj won't allow that. Well, they just docked him a lot of money, and Jalen Carter will play this weekend. Best case scenario, two doomed situations this week with Trey Turner's hamstring and Jalen Carter's looming possible suspension. You dodged a bullet on both of those. So, we are going to get into a lot of the Eagles-Chiefs rematch today. Andy Reid, I want to talk about Cuz's power rankings from yesterday. We're going to cover a lot of football. But the news of the morning happens to be a little stocky, beefy boy that hits a lot of home runs for the Philadelphia Phillies and some other great things in that game, including Harrison Bader and Ranger Suárez and magic numbers. But Kyle Schwarber becomes only the 34th Major League Baseball player to belt over 50 home runs in a season. He is becoming, with Zach Wheeler and probably Bryce Harper, one of the absolute greatest free agency signings in the history of Philadelphia sports. Not just the Philadelphia Phillies, in Philadelphia sports. What this guy has given you for a 4-year and I believe it was $80 million deal when he signed is astronomical, the return on investment. You happen to sign a guy as he was hitting the peak of his career. Kyle Schwarber was always a good player. He was always a promising player. The Phillies got him at his absolute best, and what he has done the past 4 years is nothing short of amazing. And he's won over the heart of every Philadelphia sports fan, and there's no way you can let this man leave. Even if you end up taking it on the chin in the last 2 years of his deal, you have to keep Kyle Schwarber at all costs. This guy is in the folklore of Philadelphia Phillies sluggers all time. And Andrew, why don't you just show the graphic of the status of the great boppers in Phillies history. Now, my favorite all-time player, I came up on Mike Schmidt. He kind of made me fall in love with baseball, but I wasn't alive for prime Mike Schmidt. I saw tail end Mike Schmidt, and I just knew this guy was a vacuum at third and hit a lot of bombs, and I fell in love with him. He made me love baseball. Ryan Howard is like my all-time favorite Philly. Him and Schmidt are 1 and 2. I love the big piece. He was electric TV. He delivered a title. He was an MVP. He was a Rookie of the Year. He was the all-time leading bopper in single-season Phillies history. Kyle Schwarber is like approaching that Mount Rushmore of favorite Phillies of all time. I know Jimmy's up there and Chase and Doc. There's so many great ones, but Kyle Schwarber is making a strong push. Now, VG, I ask you, he sits 8 home runs away from the big piece. Barring a 3 or 4 home run piece, I don't think he's going to catch the big piece.
I don't think so. I think at the same point when Peace did it, he had 56 now.
Yeah.
54, 56.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to have to get on a tear of all tears.
50.
Oh,
he's
he's
a
doing
party,
it. He's
man.
gonna do it. Stop.
No reason
We
not
watched
to,
it
no
4
reason
in
not
one
to sell.
game.
I was at that 4-1
He's
game.
gonna do
so
it again,
it
baby.
can happen. Unlikely, but you got to celebrate. I was surprised only 34 people have done it. And I'm looking back at Schwarber when he came here. You know, he hit 16 home runs, 30. He had a 38 year. The year they got him, he hit 32 the year before. No one thought 50.
Everybody was just like, he was cast off. Like a year.
Since he's been here, it's 46, 47, 38, and 50 so far. It's insane.
It's
he's
absolutely
like,
nuts.
And he's like a folklore player because he's not really good at anything else.
He's a great
He was
leader.
a great fielder.
Yeah.
Schwarber's just a cool guy.
He's just everybody
clubhouse
loves
guy.
him.
Fans love him. Everyone in the clubhouse loves him. And he's just like a mythical legend. Like, I don't know. I forget. The Mighty Casey or whatever, whoever that guy's name is we learned about as a
Casey
kid.
at the bat?
Yeah, the guy, except Schwarber just hits bombs.
And our presenting sponsor today, as always, is the lovely people over at Bet Parks. You know, check out the casino, check out the sports book. It's all happening on Street Road in Ben Salem. It's easy to get to from everywhere. Thank you to Bet Parks. But VG, like, where's he inching in the all-time just like love this guy, gotta see his at-bats, must-watch television? He's
As far as
making a case
in
for up
Phillies,
yeah.
he's just behind the big piece. The big piece for me is he's also lovable. We've had some, well, Schmidt was kind of a curmudgeon, but we've been lucky with the big piece and Schwarber. They're both really likable guys. I don't know. There's something about the big piece. The big piece was on a tear for like 3 years. That was Luke Gehrig, like Babe Ruth, like
It was insane. It might be the greatest like 4-year power stretch in baseball history.
yeah.
It's insane.
So fun nug. I don't know if you guys watched the first episode of Task that aired on Sunday, but in that episode they talk about the big
They
piece
do on
and his
the
58 home runs.
Yes.
With the cup. Yeah.
Did you watch it yet?
Mm-mm.
Are you out on Task? What's the matter with you?
Where do you have the time? There's so much sports going on right now.
watched-
Oh, you were watching it during that great
All right.
Sunday night game. That's how you watched it.
The
This is
9
the greatest Sunday night football game in the last
great.
5 years.
And
He's
I watched
watching
it.
Task.
Actually, since we're in the trust tree here, I got to admit, I closed my eyes at 4.5 minutes to go because I thought the Ravens had it.
Oh,
So
I
I
know.
missed the
You
end.
missed the end?
But here's the great thing about the 9 o'clock Sunday night HBO. It doesn't interfere with Sunday night football that much. It falls in halftime. So half of the show you're free to watch without having to look at Jack Collinsworth's
It's only
face.
15 minutes. That's like a quarter.
No,
of
it's
the
like
show.
22 minutes, and then they push it with another commercial break. It's like a half hour. So you can catch half the episode during halftime. I did the secondary viewing.
What was secondary? The game?
Yeah. Well, she told me she was going to forge on and watch it
It's the
upstairs.
first it's a Sunday night football game.
I know.
It's
I
a-
watched
it's
it.
a-
I saw it. Derrick Henry was going nuts.
Yeah, come
Lamar
on, we
was
all saw it.
amazing. You can do 2 views.
You can
I got
watch
ADD.
after.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
you-
ADD,
you
man.
watched
It's
it.
easy.
Derrick Henry and Lamar were nuts. You didn't even mention Josh Allen, who was out of his mind for the last 4.5
Well,
minutes.
there I fell asleep because I thought the game was over.
Crazy idea, VG. You watch it on Monday
Yeah.
before
Well,
the game.
She was going to go on without me.
Yeah.
And my cousins, we have some family friends that are Inglesby's friends. So like there was a connection there. I owed it to them.
Yeah.
And they were watching it and they were going to be texting about it. And I was just like, damn, if I don't watch this, I'm going to
Are
be
you
real
afraid there'd be
behind.
spoilers, or you just needed to be in on the
I just needed to
text?
be
You're
in
afraid
on the
to be
text,
like
man.
a FOMO?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great first episode. I won't give any spoilers because
Yeah, but
people
he
are
has
already getting mad.
an old fast food cup, it looks like, of Phillies and
Oh,
Mark
like a
Ruffalo.
souvenir cup or something?
Yeah, he's the main character, and he kind of has a little bit of a drinking problem, and he's asking his buddy, he's looking at the cup, and he's like, do you know who has this Phillies single season record for home runs in a year? And the guy's like, no. And he's like, Ryan Howard. And he reads it
Oh,
off the
nice.
cup.
They had mentioned when they were on the show that there was a bunch of like Easter eggs in there for
Dude, there
Philly
was a
sports
Ritas,
fans.
an Acme
yes,
reference.
yes.
Couple hardwooders. Some of the accents were a little over the top.
Hey, you're taking some shrapnel in here with
Oh, no.
yeah, Violation Jamie. Watch that on Tuesday.
No. It's real. What are you guys doing during halftime? You like Jack Collinsworth's face? Like, I need to watch Matthew Berry? I'm sorry. Football guys don't watch halftime.
I walk the dogs at halftime.
Yeah, get a little bite to eat, walk the dogs,
But I'm not watching an hour-long drama at halftime.
Let's get a little thumbs up.
Even though I'm
for,
sure it's great and we
it
should
is
all
good.
watch
you
it.
gotta get it. You got to get into it.
What about our cute, lovable Ranger? He's also.
Well,
I have
there
to
were so
say,
many good things that happened last
can I
night.
say this? I was at the
Ranger.
6 innings pitch, 12 strikeouts,
Career
ridiculous.
high for Ranger last night.
1 hit. So some people were idiots at the trade deadline and wanted to trade Ranger Suárez.
Yeah, no one
Am I
in
sitting
this
next to
room.
him?
I was one of
Not a
those
single
idiots.
person in this room said that.
Yes. I was
I'm
like,
pretty
get
sure
rid
Jim
of all
said
Exhibit
Suárez.
A right there.
Yeah, I think
am,
Jim and Anthony would yell at you.
Oh, Jim said I was crazy.
Yeah, okay.
So I am so happy to be the idiot. This has been great. I am sorry. I'm sorry, Ranger. I am the dope. We're so glad you're here. He's just crushing it. Like his command last night, he was not over the middle of the plate at all. It felt like everything was just on the corners or low. His command, I don't know, it blew me away last night.
When his command is on, he is,
He's
and
so
this isn't
cool
hyperbole.
about it.
Well, his demeanor is just like exactly what you want out of a
looks
pitcher.
like he's throwing batting practice.
He doesn't care.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, but when his command is on, no hyperbole, no BS. He's like a legit top 10 pitcher in at least the National League. And sometimes you can make the case. The problem is you're just probably never going to get 200 innings out of him. You're probably looking in that 140 to 155 range. It is what it is. He always has some kind of problem, but as long as he's ready for the postseason,
Right.
I don't care. I'd love to keep Ranger Suárez. I've come to terms with losing him. This guy's going to have another opportunity come playoff baseball in Red October to win over the hearts of Phillies fans yet again, because he's one of the best postseason pitchers I've ever seen. Just consistent.
And he's just heating up. I don't know. There's something about the way he pitches where in the brain in this modern day of baseball doesn't make sense because everyone's throwing gas. All the great pitchers throw gas. And he's out there throwing like 92.
Yeah.
And he's befuddling people.
Yeah.
You see them just shaking their head like they don't know what's happening as they walk away striking out.
I think he just has. Tyler's gone over this on the Phillies show, like the same exact release point on like
Arm slot for everything.
The arm slot is just like the overlay of his 5 different pitches are all like the same exact place. So you just kind of never know what's coming with him because it's not that 99, 98. His changeup delivery looks the same as his fastball, as same as his slider.
Feels like I could hit that.
You look at it and you're like, oh,
Yeah. How are these guys just confused with it?
he's just cool as hell.
Yeah, I know.
And then the other guy who I'm coming around on, I can't believe how good this one is working out. Harrison Bader.
Listen, Cuz was all over this. He's a player.
He's a meat. He's an
Philly.
Anthony guy.
He's a Philly kind of player, though. Like he's gonna have to stick around. People are falling in love with him, and I don't know. He's doing everything right now. He hustles. He plays great outfield.
He's forcing Nick Castellanos out of the lineup in a way because Marsh, Bader, and Kepler are forcing a platoon in right field. But Harrison Bader, if it's not for him, there is no platoon in right field. Like again, last night, 5 at-bats, 3 hits, 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs, and a bomb. And he's just this little stout, meaty,
oddly proportioned upper body compared to his bottom half.
And some of his outfits are like, I don't want to like this
He
guy.
just seems like a total weirdo,
Yeah.
but he's great.
But I guess we embrace weird, so
he fits in with this clubhouse. He seems like
he's
a
awesome.
race guy.
he's been unbelievable since he got here.
He's hitting over 300 since he's here.
I mean, kudos to Dave Dombrowski and the front office. I know at the time when it happened, people were like, "Oh, this is it. This is the only." That's a hell of a trade deadline.
It's a great move. Someone wrote the difference that they're in like 7th since the trade deadline. The outfielders here are like 7th in like runs batted in.
Yeah,
they're on fire.
Brandon Marsh is on fire all of a sudden.
Thanks to Stubbs, you see that?
Yeah, he said he
Stubbs
got the
straightened him out in the minor leagues. He went down and Stubbs straightened his bat out.
I mean, hell. I mean, Garrett Stubbs is going to be a coach on this team in the very near future.
You know it.
So great game from the Phillies last night.
Brewers lose.
All right.
Brewers lose.
We got a magic number update for the good people out there, Andrew. Let us know what the magic number is. 7
Ding, 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 ding.
for the postseason, 9 for the NL East, and the one that's important, because unfortunately I still think Citi Field is an option in the second round. That first round bye, magic number 14.
Yes.
We must avoid
gotta
Citi
get the
Field
bye.
at all costs.
So I think there's still, what are we, 4 up on the Dodgers for the bye?
Yeah.
Good. Only 3.5. Listen, people said it couldn't be done. You can't catch the Brewers. I think Murph, everyone was just like, yeah, you can't catch the Brewers. I think they're 3.5 back right now.
Yeah.
And
Still plenty of baseball left.
the Brewers are playing a little flat.
Yeah.
I know they get Reese Hoskins back, I think, today, but I think the Brewers are in the window, in the sights, man.
All right, we got to get to Mr. Bo Wulf. There he is on the bottom corner of your screen. He's going to be joining us momentarily, but let's tell you about some friends of ours here at PHLY.
Man, our friends over at TrueMark, you know what they're doing. They're trying to make sure children grow up with financial literacy, which is very important because I did not. And I can tell you, if you have kids, you want to make sure they know how to handle their money. So the kids are back in school. Maybe they picked up some money over the summer with a part-time job. Maybe you're in a routine now with school and chores and they're making a little money. So it's a perfect time to set them up with something that teaches them real world money skills and gives them a little bit of freedom. And that's the TrueMark Greenlight debit card and money app. If you're a TrueMark financial member, this is totally free, the Greenlight account for your kids or teens. And it's a really simple way for them to manage their own money, whether it's from the job or chores, birthdays, whatever. They get their own debit card. They set savings goals. They track spending, and they learn how to budget, all while you stay in the loop from your phone. You're still in control, but they get to learn how money really works in everyday life. So this is a great way to help your kids build smart money habits that'll stick with them long after the season's over and well into adulthood, so they're not making the same dumb mistakes I did with money. So head over to TrueMark.com/Greenlight, get all the details and sign up today, and don't miss this chance to set your kids up for financial success. That is TrueMark.com/Greenlight.
An awesome thing children should know, financial literacy. I'm
Yes.
like VG, did not really understand
I'm
it.
a bonehead
It
with
bit
it.
me. It bit me in life, but
Yes.
we rebounded and we've repaired.
We have.
Speaking of repair, how about our friends over at Ace Hardware Home Services? I've always loved Ace Hardware stores. I was just there the other day, as a matter of fact, because it's the trusted pros in the store. You know, these guys are all kind of like retired contractors. And the best part of Ace is when you walk in, you get that trusted pro right at the front door who's like, what do you need? What can I help you with? Oh, that's aisle here. Oh, this is how you want to do that job. This is how you want to do that job. And you walk into one of those big box stores, you can't find anybody. You're lost. You're spending time in the aisles looking for stuff you can't find. Well, bring those trusted pros from the store you love home with you. Maybe it's a outlet you told your partner you were going to fix last summer. You still haven't gotten to it. Maybe the water heater needs a draining. Whatever it is, I'm sure there's something you've been putting off. And with Ace Hardware Home Services, they've got that person for you. It's the helpful hardware folks, and they come right to your home and repair folks. From plumbing to electrical to heating and cooling, they've got the trusted pros to keep your home humming all year long. Ace Hardware Home Services. They're bringing helpful home, the helpful you love from the store, now to your front door, from Philly to the Jersey Shore. All right, this is the Anthony Gargano Show without Anthony Gargano. I am Jamie Lynch. We are broadcasting live from the Xfinity Studios. And let's bring in our next guest here. I did it to him. I'm 3 minutes late, and I apologize. The Phillies excitement overtook us there, VG, and 3 minutes late bringing him on. I hate to do that to him. Let's welcome into the program PHLY Eagles host, Mr. Bo Wulf.
Our man on the ground, he's solid and sound. He's on the hunt for Eagles news. Handsome and astounds, clever and profound. We're talking Eagles with Bo Wulf.
Man,
4 minutes now after the intro video.
Yeah,
I'm filing an HR complaint.
Yeah, I got to give it to VG for the photo deep dives on the intro.
He's sneaky, man. He sends that Instagram, and I got to approve the accept, and then I don't know that he's going like deep digging in my olds.
Bo, that one picture, I'm no expert here. It flashed by quick, but it did look like some kind of college backyard keg party situation. What do we got
I don't
there?
even know which one you're talking about, but I've certainly been to many college keg parties.
I think it is. There's a big college gathering, maybe a football party,
Yeah, it looks
or
like
a hockey party or
looks like a
something.
kegger.
Yeah.
I mean, I that is certainly possible.
Well, Bo, something very cool is happening today on our network at 11 a.m. I believe you've had a pretty big hand in this event that's happening in an hour and 40 minutes. Would you like to tell the good people, the Birds fans out there, how, why, and what's happening today at 11 a.m.?
Sure. Well, listen, at PHLY, we are always looking for those diamonds in the rough, those people on the come up in the media business. Who's going to be the next star? And we sent our scouts out. They're watching tape. They're scouring the practice fields all across. And we had somebody come back, and there's this interesting prospect nobody's ever heard of, a young man by the name of Brandon Graham. And you know what? We decided this guy's so good, we're going to give him his own show. And so Brandon Graham Unblocked, premiering on YouTube at 11 o'clock every week throughout the season. We're going to talk to BG about what's going on with the Eagles, but also what's going on in his life as a newly retired person. A lot of dad talk that I think you can appreciate.
Hell yeah.
Just around the NFL stuff. Lots of good stuff. And, everybody who is in Philadelphia and is an Eagles fan knows about, BG's personality and the energy he brings and the honesty that he has. We are very excited to lean into all of that over the course of, the next several months.
Yeah, so excited. I got to watch the episode last night, and he was making me chortle at my kitchen island, watching it, talking about his belly getting big, and he had to rein it in, and he's already out. He's already done a 10-mile bike ride this morning and 100 jumping jacks in the driveway.
Yeah, I mean, no spoilers, but like to go straight to the guy's like working out at 5 a.m, but then he's also doing intermittent fasting from 6 p.m. to noon. Like I'm sorry, I can't. And then he's also cooking breakfast. Jamie, I can't cook breakfast for the family and not take a bite of something
I don't
cooking.
have that self-control. No chance, no way.
What are we doing?
Yeah, and my biggest problem as a dad, and like I came up going to Catholic schools, Bo, when I was in grade school, and there was this event where like when we were young, you got like the serving size of whatever country you were assigned. So if you were like Ethiopia, you got like the daily equivalent of like food. And I always ended up at a poor country, and I always was like really hungry that day. So it's like beaten into my head that wasting food is just like a no-go. So whenever my kids don't finish their plates, I eat it. I don't.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count as food for your body. You're doing your part. That doesn't count as like if you're counting calories. That doesn't count.
All right.
Neither does if you're cooking steak on a grill and you're taking like a bite. Like that doesn't count.
Yeah, no.
You're only counting the actual sit down meal. Anything you're doing as preparation as the chef, that's just tax.
See, this is how we get into the whole dad bod. Yeah. I mean, there's these dad exclusions and these dad rules. You
can't waste food. They're always leaving chicken nuggets behind. What am I going to do? Throw out a chicken nugget?
Dog? Give it to dog. Have a little fun.
We use the bell.
It's funny, Jamie. I was watching. I was going through it last night with my wife too, and it was like making her like she could barely watch because the idea of not eating until noon would be like enough for her to like bomb a country. She makes her so mad. Like she needs food to exist, and so like just watching somebody else going through that, she's like, I can't even watch this because even thinking about this is making me insane.
Yeah, I watched the episode last night. It's coming out at 11 a.m. today. As everybody that's watching knows, BG is the absolute best. He's so relatable. He's so down to earth. It's going to be a great show. We're so excited that it's premiering this morning. You can follow the Brandon Graham, it's Unblocked with Brandon Graham YouTube page. We'll be airing it on our page here at PHLY. Follow him on socials, all of that. There's going to be great guests coming. The insight's tremendous. It's going to be a good time. So, Bo, let's get it back to the birds here. And the big news yesterday, Jalen Carter not getting suspended. It's what we all kind of expected. But I will admit the conspiracy theorist, pessimist in my mind went, oh no, the Chiefs started 0-1. There's no way Raj is going to let them go 0-2. He's going to get suspended. They're going to come down on him. So I did have like a 5% doubt in my mind, but it's good that he's playing.
Yeah, and I think the line had moved before the announcement
it's
came,
been
and so
jumping
people are like,
around.
oh, Vegas knows he's going to get suspended. That's why the line has moved. And they were, I first of all, I just like, what took him so long?
I know.
This happened on Thursday. We got to wait till 2, like, grow up. It's so self-important. I just don't have time in my life for like the NFL taking itself so seriously. Give me a break. Listen, you can't be spitting on people. He deserves to get fined a game check. He deserves to get kicked out of the game. The idea that he would then get suspended for another game, I think, is ridiculous. Now, I actually do think that what took so long is they're now setting this precedent of like if you spit, it is suspension worthy. But now they're going down this slippery slope of, okay, well, what happens if it happens in the second quarter? Does he then get to, And I think there's probably some back and forth with the NFLPA on that front. But it's certainly good news for the Eagles that they can now turn the page and Jalen Carter can just be on the team and hopefully be a dominating presence.
Go ahead.
Do you think it is a total page turner at this point, or is there's no chance of like Nick sitting them out for a quarter or anything like that going forward? It's just going to be we're moving past this.
I'm not going to rule it out, but I would be pretty surprised if any kind of punishment has to do with like taking snaps away from him at this point.
Okay, good to know.
So, Bo, newest Eagle, Za'Darius Smith is brought in because, frankly, the edge rushing didn't look phenomenal in that first game. Obviously, Jalen Carter has an impact on that. He chews up a lot of double teams, and he makes Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt life easier. But Za'Darius Smith was brought in. One, do you think Jalen Carter automatically makes those edge rushers look better this upcoming Sunday? And as a tail on that one, what role do you expect from Za'Darius Smith? How many snaps do you think we're looking at? Is it like a 15 snap situation on Sunday at most?
I think that's probably right. I would be surprised if he ends up playing more than 10, 15 snaps, just because, he wasn't in camp. They got to see what kind of shape he's in before they ask him to do anything. So that would be my expectation. I will say it's worth noting that, like, I don't think that signing Za'Darius Smith was, oh, we didn't have any sacks week 1, let's go sign Za'Darius Smith. Like, you
just needed depth, right?
He was in Philly. They knew before that game that they had pretty uninspiring edge depth, and so I think it's something that they were agitating for before that, and then obviously it played out the way that it did. I'm a little bit. If you want to get a Bo rant, I can go off on the transaction the Eagles made yesterday, which makes no sense to me.
Please go.
Do it.
Yeah, Bo.
Well,
Bo.
They needed to create a space for Tank Bigsby, and they waived Gabe Hall, the young defensive tackle. So now Gabe Hall is exposed to waivers for the rest of the league. I think there's a very good chance he gets claimed. Meanwhile, you've got 2 veteran edge guys like languishing on in healthy scratch inactive in Azeez Ojulari and Agbo Okoronkwo. Those guys would not get exposed to waivers, and they're obviously not good enough to be active on game day even before you bring in Za'Darius Smith. And if you don't think that Gabe Hall, like, they thought he was good enough to make the roster, we all saw he had a very good summer. If you wanted to hide Gabe Hall and protect Gabe Hall, then you don't put him on the 53 in the first place. You don't signal to the league that he's a worthwhile rosterable player. This is the Casey Toohill sin repeated. The Eagles do not learn from their mistakes. They're going to lose Gabe Hall so they can protect a 30-plus-year-old edge rusher who's not even going to play. It's roster malpractice, Jamie. I think that the franchise needs to fold.
Clearly, the real issue here.
This guy needs some food.
But yeah, are you intermittent fasting?
Yeah. This guy is Snickers.
Well, usually the organization, Bo, they do a pretty good job of self-scouting and learning from mistakes of the past. Why do you think it is they're not learning from these mistakes? I mean, Casey Toohill. I mean, what else do you need to say?
What else do you need? Dylan McMahon. I mean, it's just like, maybe they're too distracted from missing out on Micah Parsons. They have lost their eye on the ball. I don't know.
I didn't talk to you about this, but off of the heels of Schefter, look, Howie probably is half playing mental gymnastics with Jerry and Stephen Jones down there, knowing they're not going to send Micah Parsons to the Eagles. Jay Glazer this weekend, reported 2 firsts, a third, and a fifth, amongst others.
Yes.
What in Bo Wulf's mind was the others?
I think the most realistic answer is Jordan Davis. Given if there were ever actual conversations back and forth with the Cowboys and you knew that they wanted defensive tackle help, I think that is the one that makes the most sense. He is a similar caliber of player to Kenny Clark. I'm trying to what else there would be. I don't they feel pretty good about their edge group. I don't think we're not talking about a wide receiver necessarily. So that's the one that makes the most sense to me. But there's no reporting behind that.
Yeah, sure.
Bo, we had EJ on yesterday. He said Adoree Jackson wasn't as terrible maybe as people think, and he may give him a C like Adoree gave himself, or maybe a C minus. He looked terrible. The fans don't want to see him. Vic is announcing him as his starter again. What is going on with Jacory and Bennett? Help us make sense of all this. Why is Adoree Jackson starting again?
Well, if you listen to the way that Vic spoke in the press conference yesterday, I think there is a chance that some of the bad plays for Adoree Jackson were a little bit Drew Makuba's fault as well, where maybe he was expecting some help that he didn't get from the rookie safety. So I think that is part of it. I also think you probably don't completely cut bait after one game. If you went through the summer and you thought that Adoree Jackson was the right answer, you probably give him at least 2 games. And if he's as bad as he looked to most of us in week 2 against the Chiefs, against a team that doesn't have the same wide receiver firepower, you go from CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens to like Juju Smith-Schuster and whoever else. Like they're probably going to be without Xavier Worthy, and they're definitely going to be without Rashee Rice. So like this should be an easier opportunity for him. And if he's as bad as he was last week, then I would not be surprised if we see Jacory and Bennett in week 3.
It seemed like all camp Vic was not down with Adoree Jackson.
No, but he also wasn't obviously down with Keely Ringo. And Jacory and Bennett has just not had a ton of time.
Do you think that's it with Jacory?
I mean, the truth is, I don't think that Vic is thrilled with his options.
Do you think Jacory and Bennett still needs time to get caught up with the defense?
I think probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Bo, I keep thinking about the Chiefs. It's Wednesday. It's kind of like when you turn the page a little bit and start looking ahead to the game of the week, 425, Super Bowl rematch from last year. I watched the Bills and the Ravens on Sunday night, and I went
most of it.
I did fall asleep with 4.5 minutes ago, thinking the game was over.
I went to bed after the Derrick Henry touchdown.
Yeah.
Oh my God. At 2, Bo? No.
4:25. I didn't think I needed sleep. It's a big week, VG.
Yeah, a lot going on here. But I just was watching that game like the AFC champion is probably one of these 2 teams. I think the Chiefs' time has kind of... Look, they have Patrick Mahomes. He's incredible. He's always going to have him in the fight. I feel like, I don't want to say fraud watch because it's not, that's too extreme and that's a take, but I do feel like their time has kind of at least plateaued. What's your sense of this Chiefs team that they're facing on Sunday? Travis Kelce kind of looks like an old man now. I don't know. They just look like they have holes all over the place a little bit.
I think I'm with you that they don't look to me like the best team in the AFC. Now, I'm not really going to be in the business of just counting out Patrick Mahomes.
Sure. No, it's crazy.
I think he's still the best quarterback in football. And I also
think that's because you missed the last 4 minutes of the Bills game. That's why you think he's still the best quarterback in football.
That's true. And unless the Eagles' defense is not going to be as good as it was in the Super Bowl, right? They're just not there yet. But I think this Chiefs team can be handled. And I think even, the Vegas line as it opened with the Eagles as road favorites in Arrowhead for the first time in a very long time, Chiefs underdogs at home, tells you that, the infrastructure and the roster depth is just not where it has been. And it's going to take some Mahomes magic and maybe some Spags magic to stop that from happening this week.
Are we afraid to say it? I mean, they look bad. They look like a shell of themselves.
It's one game. It's still
it's also carry over from the Super Bowl, and they had a lot of close games last year. They were sneaking by last year.
Part of me feels like the Eagles broke them a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like they're on the downward trend. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I mean, they're still going to be a playoff team even in their downward trend, but
that's a tough division.
I don't go, ooh, the Chiefs.
No.
I feel like mentally the Eagles kind of conquered that mountain.
I think that's certainly possible that things could be collapsing. I'm not so sure. The tough division, like, let's get out of here with the Broncos, please. They won the game.
Are you a believer yet?
No.
There's only room for one Bo in this conversation.
Goddamn right.
Yeah, right. We're talking messing around with this Knicks guy.
Yeah.
Chargers?
You're not chargered up?
I think the Chargers might win the division. I think that's possible. Yeah. But that's 2 good teams.
Bo, what did you make of the Packers on Sunday? Since we've been talking so much business this week, we didn't get really to talk much ball. What did you think of the Packers' debut with Micah Parsons?
Yeah, I think we do make the mistake of treating week 1 like it's the whole season.
Sure.
Because it's the only game we've had so far where we don't do that in week 8 or week 9 or whatever. But I do think that the Packers are probably the team that has the best chance of unseating the Eagles as the number 1 seed in the conference. I think they have real firepower. They seem to me like a real true contender.
How far behind do you think they are? I mean, are they on the same tier as the Birds?
I think I kind of think so. I would put the Eagles above them, but I think that's the top 2 tier in my mind for the NFC.
You're out on the Lions.
I think the Lions are right now a tier below. I have been skeptical of, post Ben Johnson, post Aaron Glenn, that turnover. They got to prove it to me. I'm not just going full faith in Jared Goff and Dan Campbell without the infrastructure that they've had.
So, Bo, today you're going to be talking with Adam Hogue from CHGO, our sister station, about the league. He's, covering the league a lot this year. You're going to catch up with him. I watched the Chicago Bears postgame show on Monday night.
A lot of pain.
Ben Johnson, what are you doing? Just take the penalty, kick the ball out of bounds. Something.
Yeah, that was tough.
How do you grade the hot new coach's debut on Monday Night Football with the whole league?
He's got to know that, right? Like you gotta have gone over that situation.
Yeah, Braggs in the postgame show was like, Santos clearly doesn't have the leg to kick it through the end zone. You just take the penalty. If Braggs knows that, what the hell is Ben Johnson doing?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think he can draw up a trick play, but he can't figure out basic math.
Ugh.
And what about, I mean, he's kind of selling out Santos too at the presser, saying, well, I told him to kick it through the end zone.
Yeah, not everybody can do that late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are we? Yeah, throwing the guy under the bus. I don't like either. Kick it out of
Game
bounds.
one.
Why risk it? Why risk it? Even if it's at the back of the end zone and the guy can go up and catch it, he can still run it out. You're losing 5 yards. Kick it out of bounds.
Crazy. Bo, the NFC East, real quick, a glimpse through the mind of Bo Wulf. The New York Giants, Russell Wilson is like, I thought once he was a surefire Hall of Famer, and he probably still will be with the Super Bowl MVPs and the numbers he'll have. He's probably on the doorstep. It's probably a great debate. He's doing a real disservice to his Hall of Fame career here. He looks beyond cooked. They've been in the red zone, 8 times on Sunday? Couldn't punch one in. When are they going to go to Jackson Dart? What are they doing?
I feel like they should do it right away. Like, what are we wasting time on?
What are you doing?
Give the kid the keys. VG, I feel like we had this conversation where you were like, you're not buying the Giants. There's a lot of like national people saying the Giants are going to be better than people think. No, I'm not buying the Giants. Get out of here.
Well, I feel like a lunatic sitting here. There's a lot of respected people saying the Giants are maybe finished like second in the division even.
Give me a break.
What? Who? Name names.
I'm not naming names. There's a legend.
Bo, NFC East, my other opinion of watching the Commanders, Jaden Daniels, he's a talent. Like, I don't think he's really a sophomore slump candidate. But my big takeaway from that game was this dude's got to learn to slide. He is not going to last 17 games playing the style of football he is playing. He treats himself like a running back out there. He's running into contact and taking hits all over the place. He's got to chill out.
And he's got that slight body. I'm with you. That's the way that their season totally craters. And I have been fading the Commanders all summer. I just feel like their roster is so old. They had so many little things that should not repeat themselves go right last year. The record in 1-score games, the 4th down success, the health of all of those old guys. The thing that's counterbalancing that is that I think Jaden Daniels is awesome. And so, we'll see how that plays out. They're also going to have a much more difficult schedule than they had last year. But yeah, I mean, he's the whole franchise.
Yeah.
He's got to protect himself better.
Crazy.
Well, what's your read on the Rams after this week? Because I talked with EJ. He kind of dismisses them as not like a real contender. And I don't know. After last year in the playoff game, we have to assume if Stafford's healthy. If Stafford's healthy, do you think they can compete? Are they on a tier close to the Packers?
I think if you guaranteed me Stafford was healthy, then I would say yes. I think I might rank them 3rd in the conference. I think they're a real team. Now I didn't get to watch as much of that game as some of the other games, but I believe that if Stafford is healthy, you add Devontae Adams into that receiver mix. I think Puka Nacua is awesome, and that defense should get a little bit better given how young they are. I think they can be a real team for sure.
All right, Bo. 11 o'clock today, an hour and 20 minutes. You're going to be known as this new podcaster's co-host when Unblocked debuts. How we feeling? We feeling good?
I'm excited. I'm worried about the logistics. Like, let's make sure we get the layout correct, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Are you serving? Do you feel good as a mentor in this with this new media personality?
You teach the podcast.
Teaching them how to go through the ropes.
Yeah, he's gonna teach me how to shed a block, and I'm gonna teach him how to read an ad.
Well, 11 o'clock today, Unblocked with Brandon Graham debuts. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Make sure you're hitting the thumbs up in here for Bo and his new co-host, BG. Everybody check out the show today at 11 a.m. Mr. Bo Wulf, we thank you for your time, and we will see you soon.
See you, Bo.
Thanks, guys.
Adios. There he is. Make sure everybody's, let's get a little thumbs up in the chat here for Mr. Bo Wulf. 11 o'clock. I watched the episode last night. BG's just like the absolute best.
I'm excited. I mean, his energy is just infectious.
And he talks about like, he knows, everybody has like skills in life that maybe don't show up on a resume or whatever. And he was like, one of my superpowers is I know that like I can connect with people, and I know to listen to people, and I know that people go through things, and like every time they meet me, it might be something, like great for them. And he understands like the gravity of connecting with people. Yeah, it's really,
he seems like just a good human.
He's a great human,
right?
Dude.
Yeah.
He's a great human, and you're going to hear him talk about the Chiefs this weekend and Patrick Mahomes. You're going to hear him talk about retirement life. He was just playing golf with Saquon Barkley at cricket like 2 weeks ago. So just like hearing some of the stories from this guy, and he's got a locker down at the NovaCare.
He does still?
Yeah.
Nice.
Because I said to him, I was like, we were talking before the show, and he's like, yeah, man, I gotta keep it tight. I can't lose control. He's like, I was like, oh, where are you working out? You still working out down with the guys? And he's like, yeah, I got a locker down there still. And I was like, all right, good. Because I don't want to lose, Kelsey's still there.
Yeah.
BG's still there. I think that's an awesome thing when, I know the Flyers kind of like, because of lack of success, got like cannibalized for it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have franchise legends that hang around the team and help mentor young guys, like that's invaluable.
Yeah. It's something you can't buy that. Like there's no way to get around that.
Yeah. So having BG and Kelsey still down there is really incredible.
And the amazing thing about BG is he's such a likable human, but he's such an amazing trash talker.
Yeah.
But it's almost in a way that you can't get
pure.
mad. Yeah. It's like, oh, he's crushing me now, but I can't get mad at him.
I used to love watching his Mike Dubs.
Yes.
And he would apparently there's some famous fried chicken's place in Detroit, and he would always, like when he was playing the Lions and Jared Goff, he'd be like, I'm coming for that fried chicken, and it's like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like so funny. I don't even think as an opponent you could get mad at him.
That's so funny.
Well, he's crushing you.
So coming up, we're going to talk with the brain from Bet Parks. A lot going on in the NFL. There's some MLB playoffs coming up. There's futures all over the place. So we'll talk to the brain shortly here coming up. But let's tell you about some friends of ours here at PHLY. And of course, this half hour of the show is brought to you by the Bet Parks. Casino and sportsbook out there on Street Road in Ben Salem.
All right, let's talk about football, because football's back. The Birds are a 1-point road favorite at Kansas City on Sunday in a big game rematch. Over under total is, I think it went up. Let me see real quick. It is 46.5. We also got some big college football plays on Saturday. Penn State plays Villanova. Big matchup for the Wildcats. We got Oklahoma in town versus Temple. And you can live bet while you watch the action. Bet Parks is the only sports app I ever use. My team at Bet Parks Online Sportsbook and Casino is a great offer for new users. Check this out. Download the app, open an account, and get $50 back on your first sports bet if it doesn't win. Plus, you'll get a Bet Parks bonus box with $50 Bet Parks coins and 50 bonus spins on the Bet Parks Collect 'em All online slot game. Bet Pro in college football, Philadelphia baseball, the Pro Golf Tournament, soccer, like World Cup qualifiers. I know Sammy was giving me a hard time yesterday about taking England, his own squad, and they decimated Serbia 5-0. 5-0. I cashed on that on Bet Parks. They got MMA and more. So bet more than the score. Bet player touchdowns, rushing and passing yards, and more. For full terms and conditions, visit betparks.com. Bet college and pro football all season long with my team at Bet Parks. where there's always another way to win. Must be 21 and located in PA and New Jersey. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Last weekend was great because the Eagles were out of the way on Thursday Night Football, so I went over to a buddy's house to watch some football on Sunday. His setup, total disaster. You know why? He didn't have Xfinity. There was lagging and buffering and switching between apps to try and find the game. He claimed he was a big fan, but come on, buddy. You got to be better than that. I felt like I had been fan fished. See, if you call yourself a football fan, you gotta have Xfinity. It's the ultimate sports destination. I can find the best games and my favorite teams all in one place. And the way I watch, next level. It's the perfect fan flex. I've got all the action right in my living room, plus Xfinity's best picture and sound with enhanced 4K. So clear, it feels like I'm in the stadium. Sometimes I've got 4 games going at once. I pull up a second screen. There's no shame in that, because why not? On top of that, I get real-time notifications and live stats right there on my TV. That little C button on the X1 remote, what a miracle button that is. It's the best seat in the house every time. So next game day, make sure that big fan isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multi-view requires Xfinity 4K capable TV box.
So I got this is breaking, I guess.
Oh, we got a breaking news?
Yeah. Signed Anderson and Shefty. Free agent edge rusher Jadeveon Clowney in Dallas today to meet with the Cowboys. So maybe some pass rush help for those guys.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny Clark goes in the middle, and you need to replace Micah Parsons a little bit on the outside there. Yeah, I mean, I mean,
just give it a Clowney.
It's all right.
Now that's someone I'm afraid to say. I don't need him injuring anybody.
Yeah, I still have it.
He's a bit of a loose cannon.
I was gonna say I was sitting in the end zone when he like head speared Nick Foles right in the chest. Like that guy.
Yeah,
you got to look out for him.
Yeah,
on the
he's
football
a bit of a
field.
psycho. Yeah.
Yeah. You think the Cowboys are cooked?
Yes, I think they're cooked for a while.
It feels bad, doesn't it?
Yeah, Jerry. I mean, it feels great actually. It feels great. I don't think they're going to be able to get it together with Jerry down there running things. He can't get out of his own way.
Do you have any interest in watching that Netflix show with Jerry?
I actually watched like an episode and a half. I was just like, yeah, it's enough. You get it. It's fine.
It's
all about him.
That's why I've been scrolling a couple times and I've seen it and I've kind of like, and then I back out.
If I got to choose, I've seen a full season and a half of the Dallas Cowboys Sweetheart Cheerleader competition, and that was better than the show about the football team.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
there's way more drama and interesting.
So they have a whole series about the cheerleaders.
Oh yeah, man,
it's crazy.
Oh yeah,
women fly from all over the world basically to go try out for this cheerleader thing.
Yeah,
and it's pretty psycho what they go through and stuff.
Aren't they paid like $100?
Yes, they're paid almost nothing.
They're like game day employees.
But it's about being a cowgirl.
Yes.
Do any of these girls go on to bigger and better things because of being a cowboy?
Sure.
Well, they don't follow that. It's just about them coming and trying out and being judged.
So Jerry's got what?
Jerry's wife she oversees the cheerleaders.
That's creepy.
Yeah,
that's a little weird, but
the whole thing.
So you got the White House series coming out about the Cowboys, like Michael Irvin old house by the facility. That's
I'll watch that.
That one seems entertaining. Yes. You have now this Cowboys show. You have the Cowboys cheerleader, and then you have HBO's doing the NFC East Hard Knocks this year.
This is why the Cowboys still get all these primetime games. They're irrelevant for the most part.
They're more concerned with like Hollywood productions than football.
Hey, if you can't be successful winning, be successful on television, right? At least you got something going for you.
It's the Q factor. Is that what they call it? The Q rating or the Q factor for popularity? That's all Jerry's caring about.
Man.
So I forgot about the NFC East Hard Knocks until the Exciting Mike's episode last week where Cooper and Reed were talking about I guess it's going to be a little weird. The cameras are going to be in the meeting rooms and all over the place.
Yeah, I don't love that.
Maybe we'll get a little deeper insight into the spit.
Yeah.
What was said. Because people had to be mic'd up, right?
I would imagine NFC East games are, probably double the crew.
Yeah.
Double the footage.
Oh, Dak was mic'd up, so we might have heard.
I mean, I am and we're going to get to the brain momentarily here. I'm a Hard Knocks, I loved it from the jump. So I'll never talk bad about it, but I don't watch it as much as I used to.
Shark.
A little bit.
It's just oversaturated.
But the in-season stuff I think is better. And since the birds are a part of it, I think I'll pay attention again this year.
I don't know.
You out?
Yeah, I'm out.
It doesn't do anything for you?
No.
Seeing like the footage from
At this point, it doesn't. No, I just
Not with
like
the
watching
Eagles
the
being
mic'd up
involved?
segments of just the Eagles. I don't know. Everything's just so edited. Yeah.
You feel like you're just going to see it on Twitter anyway?
I feel for the most part. I don't know. There's something about Hard Knocks. I just feel like it's run its course. I'm over it.
We will be joined by Brad Feinberg momentarily here. Really? I thought the Birds being like, let me know in the chat if you're gonna watch the HBO Hard Knocks in season edition with the NFC East. It's now at most it's probably 25% Birds, so like you are gonna have to deal with Jera.
Yes.
And you're
You're gonna have more of the Cowboys than anything, I would think.
Josh Harris and Magic. Maybe
Well, you're gonna have the Commanders. I'm sure they're gonna be,
the Giants are kind of a
glazing.
beautiful disaster. Like I do enjoy watching. Like the fact that Joe Shane is back as the GM of the Giants is very funny.
That should have been an end my career moment.
Should have. How was it not?
Right.
And you bring back
and
both
it's like an evergreen. As long as Saquon's just crushing it, it's an evergreen moment of like, hey, look, remember this dope? This dope's still running a squad in New York City.
Beautiful disaster, those New York Giants. And speaking of Russell Wilson, dude, that was so bad last week. Their red zone. I went to college with a bunch of New York Giants fans, and I'm in a text
Sorry
thread
to hear
with
that.
Yeah. But they were just like, what are we doing? Like, start the kid.
He's
Like,
so cooked.
Russell Wilson's so bad. And
Yeah,
you can't, what's the point in going to Jameis Winston?
Like,
if you're
can't
gonna
go
rip
to
the
Jameis. No,
Band-Aid
Jameis
off-
is just there to be the backup.
I saw people being like, oh, just put Jameson until the kid's ready. I'm like,
there's
just
no
rip
point.
the
You're not going to the
Band-Aid.
playoffs. You're not doing anything. Just put the kid in, get him experience, and get a better draft pick for next year.
It's kind of like the Bo Nix model last year, where you have like a solid defense that can keep you in some games. Put the kid in there to get the big game experience.
I thought I saw a report that Dable met with the front office and was saying,
So I
is that
think
not
that's
is that a
that
bogus
Wesley
report?
Steinberg account? And I'm not sure if it's real or fake. It's like one of those like accounts where it could be like a mock.
Okay.
And I'm not like
Yeah,
he
because I
always goes
haven't heard
viral
anyone
sometimes,
else
and I'm like,
mention
this
it.
guy feels fake.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dable should. I mean, he's cooked. If this season's a disaster, he's cooked.
So
as
that's
well.
what makes me think like he's been told he's safe or something. Like, why would you?
Maybe.
Why would you even try Wilson? Like, just give it to the kid.
Like theoretically, what is the point of Russ? Even if Dart's terrible, Russ is terrible.
Russ is abysmal at this point. And I used to be, look, I at one point was like, the Eagles should trade for Russell Wilson. I loved Russell Wilson. I thought he was like,
Well, there's a universe where the Eagles do trade for him, and we don't have Jalen Hurts.
yeah,
There is that alternate
absolutely.
universe that
Even
happens.
Tom Willis is in the chat. Just said how we had a trade in place for Russ.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Russ nixed it.
And Andy Reid loved Russell Wilson in the draft.
Jalen
Tried
was
to get
in
him
that
on
trade.
draft day.
Well, then the draft was fine. He had a
yeah, it
run
would've
for
been
10
great.
years.
Yeah,
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 but
yeah.
now.
But yeah, I mean, I was on a soap, and I've had such a weird Jalen Hurts trajectory. Like when I was back in my old job, I was like, I felt like the only person in town who loved the pick at the time because I was like, this is a kid you can develop. He's cheap. Carson Wentz just signed his big deal. It makes sense. Like maybe it's a little bit of a reach, but like it makes sense. The Eagles need this type of guy. And then I watched him for like a year and a half, and I was like, I don't know. Like there's some promising things there. And then I like bailed. I
don't think you're the only one. I
I'm
think there were
not.
some legs to the rumors that the Eagles were thinking about making moves.
And now he looks like, a definite top 5 quarterback in the league. It's been a wild roller coaster of a ride.
Just a winner.
And he's so cool. He's got Michael Jordan at his suite.
Yeah, that like to have him as your guest
Even
to the
Brandon
game.
Graham, I was talking to him about
Pretty
it before
wild,
the
man.
air because Brandon was like, man, they had me going around the stadium. He's like, I just want to get up to the box and talk to MJ. And he did get to hang out with MJ for a little bit. And I was like, dude, Jalen has MJ at the game. He's like, I know, right? Like he was even blown away. So very cool stuff. All right, let's bring him on. He is the brain.
Brain. Red, the brain, Feinberg.
Mr. Brad Feinberg, how are you this morning?
Good to see you guys. How you doing?
What's up, Brain? What's up, Brain?
Doing well. Brad, when
no,
a
not too
line
much, sir.
jumps all over the place, like an Eagles-Chiefs line is kind of flopping around like a fish on deck out of water, what do you make of it? Do you try to dive into the line and find out, is it Jalen Carter looming suspension related? Is it weather? Like, what do you make when the line's moving around like this?
Well, it's funny. This line opened, the look-ahead line was the Eagles the Chiefs minus 1.5. And I think what we basically saw was, to me, we saw a Kansas City team kind of get dominated against a Charger team that people, losing their star tackle Rashawn Slater. People were expecting Kansas City to, business as usual. Let's get a typical Chiefs win the way they always do. Forgetting the score of the game, which I think was relatively close. I think it was a 6-point game, but it just seemed like Chiefs kind of got borderline dominated in that game. And then the Eagles didn't look great, obviously, but at least they got a win. I think maybe they're getting some grace over the Jalen Carter ejection, where he's arguably, their best defensive player, probably is, maybe not even arguably. And I think that what we saw was just, okay, it was a 3-point line move, but as I was explaining, not every 3-point line move is the same. If a line goes from 4.5 to 7.5, that's a crazy 3-point line move. Going from 1.5, where the Eagles are a dog, to 1.5, where the Eagles are a favorite, not a crazy line move, because it's really the game lands on 1, which happens. Look at the Ravens-Bills. It happens, but not the craziest of, it's the most tame 3-point line move you can have.
So, Brad, when there's so much overreaction to a week 1, whether it be this team stinks, this guy stinks, this coach, do you try to, and Brad, of course, is here courtesy of the Bet Parks Sportsbook and Casino, do you try to take advantage of some overreactions? I know line makers try not to be reactive, but the betting public does. Is there something where in weeks 2 and 3 you're fading the public more than you normally do? Do you ever try to react to the overreactions?
Well, I try to do what I personally think it should be. Now, here's the thing. You don't want to underreact also,
Sure.
right? I'll give you an example. The things I invest most heavily in, for me, it's not the games. I always say it's not. It's for me, it's always the props, are like the season long bets. So I'll give you, if you have a big season long bet. For example, one of my betting partners had a very big season long bet on the Patriots over 7.5 wins. He now bet them under 8.5 after they get blown out in week 1. I'm like, but that's the way to do it, where you're getting over 7.5. They lose by, to at home, and now he's taking under 8.5. I had some money on the Titans over 5.5. I'm looking at that, maybe gonna get out of some of that position because I didn't like what I saw of them at all. To me, it's like, again, I don't want to underreact also, right? But yeah, there could be, for sure, and like example, one of the teams that I was bullish on versus the market before the year, and this line's moved 3 points in week 2, and I bet it again. The Giants. I'm just going to be maybe a little bit stubborn here in that I don't think the Giants are as bad as that game they had against Washington. And they raised Dallas from a 3-point favorite on the line opening to now 6, maybe even some 6.5s out there. So there's the case where I do think there was no reaction. But then again, maybe I'm just being too stubborn on the Giants. I don't think I am, but we'll see. But yeah, it's a fine line between, is there an overreaction? Also, is this what is the new reality, right? Because it can be the new reality,
sure,
too, where a team that you think is good is bad, a team that thinks is bad is good. And it's just finding that right mix. Is there an overreaction, or is it just a one-off? Like, for example, the Bengals, to me, it's 7 yards in total in the second half.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Joe Burrow some grace, right? Where, if you went to McDonald's 10,000 times and liked the french fries, and the 10,000th time they didn't taste good, I'd say, all right, maybe it was just a one-off, and I'm going to, Joe Burrow and the Bengals have been good enough every single game of his career where I'm going to say, okay, he had a bad day, whatever it was. Now, if it keeps happening, I'll have to readjust my thoughts.
So, Brett, is there a week in the season where you start to feel comfortable with what a team is, where you start to believe, the Giants, for example, like you just brought up?
Yeah.
They're obviously probably going to make a quarterback switch at some point. So
Sure.
They may be a little different, but is there a point where you start to feel comfortable with what a team is?
What's interesting, some of the guys that I work with, they're much more apt to go by past seasons longer than I am. For example, it'll be week 7, and they're like, okay, where their power rating going into the year was a +3, and this year they've only been maybe let's say a +1. So I am, maybe a +2 for overall. And I'll be more like, well, If it's like week 6, week 7, I'm definitely thinking that team's more what they are at that point. I would say how many games for me, again, I try not to underreact or overreact, but I would say, yeah, once there's probably been like 5 or 6 games played, I kind of think, okay, this is kind of like this is who I'm married to, so to speak. It can obviously change, I mean, look, the Eagles, I remember, but they had some injuries. Remember if they lost that Tampa Bay game? I think it was week 4, if I'm not mistaken. They got destroyed by Tampa Bay. You may have said, okay, what are the Eagles, right? After 4 weeks, they're a 2-2 team, looking kind of in shambles, and then they win the Super Bowl. So, and Tampa Bay, when they had Tom Brady, they were 7-5. They weren't looking so great, and they win the Super Bowl. So things can always change, but yeah, I'm more apt to change faster probably than most.
Brad, talking about overreaction, Eagles were the clear favorite as far as futures for Super Bowl going into this. Now the Bills and Ravens have both jumped them as far in the futures. Is that an overreaction to that game Sunday night? And also maybe, that rain delay really slowed down the Eagles offense and everything changed in that. And are the Eagles at plus 700 worth taking a ride on?
In my opinion, no. I say that not. And by the way, I'm saying the same thing about Buffalo and Denver. I'm sorry, Buffalo and Baltimore also. It's just such a thin line, and so many things can happen, VG. And you over the course of the next 16 regular season games plus the 3 playoff games to get to the Super Bowl, so many things can happen. And if you're going to bet on the Ravens or the Eagles or any of those teams win the Super Bowl at such short odds, first of all, you're betting that there's never not going to be a quarterback injury, which can always happen. So when I'm doing these future bets, I'm never taking a team that short, or very, very rarely, unless I think they are so far away the best team, just because I know that so many negative things can occur just to get to the playoffs, just to get to the Super Bowl. There's so many just things that you just aren't going to know what's going to happen. So I'm not playing any teams that short. Now, again, VG, they're 7-1 and the Ravens and Bills are 6-1. To me, that's pretty close. Now, again, a team that I liked before the year was Green Bay. Now, they went from, I think, like 12, 13-1 down, I think, more to like 8 or 9-1.
Yeah, they're at 9.
They really were the biggest. They were the biggest mover, and I did get some of them at 17 and 13. But should they have gone down that much? When I'm like thinking to myself, what really changed with them? I mean, yeah, they beat Detroit, but this was a team that we knew was really good last year, and they added Micah Parsons. Nothing. If you liked them after week 1, you should have liked them before week 1. Like certain things, I think you have to be a little day ahead versus a day late. But no, I don't think there was an overreaction. I think the Bills and Ravens have shown VG that they're a really good team, and they're in the Eagles category.
Brad, go ahead.
I was going to ask him if you got anything for tonight for us.
Ooh,
a little baseball, maybe. Your boy Flaherty's pitching tonight.
Yeah, my Flaherty. Yeah, Flaherty's always been a weakness of mine. A couple games that I think have potentially some value. Reds playing the Padres. Let me bring up the line right now. I did bet the Reds. You see,
wow, your boy Abbott too. You're a big Abbott head.
No, but this line crashed. I can't, in good conscience. I got plus $1.55. It's now plus 128. So that actually moved maybe a little bit too much for my taking. I did bet under 4.5. Freddie Peralta 5-inning line against Merrill Kelly, 2 really good pitchers. Texas has nothing.
Dude, are you amazed at what the Rangers been doing with all these injuries?
VG, I swear to you, no joke, because I even you like the Rangers to make the playoffs? I'm like, I'm not trying to sound stupid here. I think they're like the worst team in baseball.
Their lineup is horrible with all the injuries.
Atrocious.
They just keep winning.
I think they're atrocious. Like, forget bad. I think their lineup is arguably worst in the league, and I can't believe they lose Nate Eovaldi. Obviously, Kelly's really good and DeGrom's good, but this is a team I don't know. Forget about doing it with mirrors. I mean, I don't even know what they're doing it with. I am shocked that they are still hanging around like this. I think they're only 2 games out of the first place.
They're making a real push. They've lost Semien went down, and yeah. Bochy's doing a great job.
Is not only him, they lost Corey Seager.
Yep. I looked at the box score. I was like, I don't know half these players. I've never heard of half these players.
Like one of the greatest managers ever.
Yeah.
He's a machine.
Yeah, it's funny. You're right. You actually are right about that. That's the guy that probably will make the Hall of Fame for that. So, but I do like under 4.5 runs in that game. And let me just see this. I laid $1.35 with Skeens today. That's now okay, that's around minus $1.50 or so. I still, again, when Skeens and pitches for the Pirates, it's a little bit like me when Steve Carlton pitched back in I think it was 1972 for the Phillies.
Yes.
On that day, and only on that day, the Pittsburgh Pirates are extremely hard to beat. I don't care if you're the Yankees, I don't care if you're the Dodgers, I don't care who you are. He really should win. And Baltimore, no great shakes. I do think that Skeens, even laying $1.50 or less, has some value. I think he wins that game at least 8 out of 13 times, which would be $1.62. And I think he's at least laying $1.50. I think there's even some value there.
So, Brad, before we let you go, and maybe you'll confirm this tomorrow, but what's your early gut on Commanders-Packers Thursday Night Football this week? Any strong leans there?
Again, these look-ahead lines are like my favorite thing to do, and I have a very large bet on the Commanders -2 and -2.5. I'm sorry.
+2, +2.5.
No, the Packers -2 and the Packers -2.5.
Oh, it's up to 3.5.
That line is because but again, this is the thing.
Why you're
I
sharp?
knew the line was wrong. And I'm like, this line's going to close 3.25, which is exactly what it is. It's when I say 3.25, it's snuggling between 3, laying 120, or 3.5, the dog favored. We call that 3.25. There's no value at that number. Now, I personally like Green Bay to win the game, and I think they'll even cover the 3.5. I still think that Washington's maybe a tad overrated. Love the quarterback. Don't love the defense. And I think Green Bay's for real. I think Green Bay is going to be a tough out. And if I had to pick a team to go to the Super Bowl right now today, they'd probably be my pick, because I think getting Micah Parsons can't be understated. Yeah. I think you had the best defensive player in the league, guys. And they have a much easier schedule than the Eagles. So we'll see how it plays out. Rooting for the Eagles, but I think Green Bay is tough out. I would lean Green Bay, even laying the 3.5.
All right. That's why you're the brain. This was The Grind with Brad Feinberg, brought to you by the Bet Park Sportsbook and Casino. Brad, we thank you as always.
Tell Sealski I need that. I'm waiting for that rematch.
All right. He's coming up next, so we'll tell him. Thank you, Brad.
Be good, guys. Appreciate you always.
See ya. And there he is, and he set up the segue. He set up the tease right to our next guest, if he's there, and Andrew is ready.
He's on the Xfinity mobile call-in line.
Of course, from the Xfinity studios here. He does a great job. He's a 4-for-4 man and beyond.
Oh, yes. He's a 4-for-4 agitator and provocateur.
Does a great job at the Inquirer. And we got to talk to him about Mr. Kyle Schwarber, and where he kind of falls here, VG, in Phillies bopper history. This guy has a chance to, be one of the best. It's Schmidt, it's Howard.
I mean, that's
and
it,
then,
right?
it's
Lazinski, Burrow.
I mean, come on. I'm taking Schwarber over all those guys. He's only the 34th man in Major League Baseball history to join the 50 home run club. Really incredible stuff there from Kyle Schwarber, as he did it last night. When Rob Thompson said that in the locker room after the game, only the 34th guy to do this in the history of the game. They all had the that's a big freaking deal.
You say baseball bleeping history?
Yeah.
Yes. I was like, yeah, Topper.
Every time I see Topper and the behind the scenes stuff, I completely understand why the guys love him. He's handling, this Castellanos situation. That's a tough thing to deal with as a manager when you have 3 guys that are forcing the hand of one of your higher paid guys who's a vet to be forced out of the lineup.
And he's not a guy who takes it well, Castellanos.
No. I mean, was it last week when
he could be intimidating, I would think.
Yeah.
To a Topper.
They had the walk-off hit, and Castellanos was the winning run across home plate. And the body language was just mopey. I was like, "Oh man, this is a tough situation."
He's had a good 3 games.
Yeah,
he's had the winning run, winning RBI the other night.
Let's bring him in on the Xfinity mobile call-in line. Does a great job covering the town, Mr. Mike Sealski. What an intro. What an
I'll
intro.
never get over that intro. That's amazing.
And Mike, has your wife and kids seen it, and are they like just blown away by it?
They haven't seen it. My wife goes into the office for work every Wednesday, and the kids are now at school, so they haven't had a chance to see this yet.
Be like, listen, I'm intimidating. You better pay attention to Dad, because this is my theme song from like the Dark Empire.
The man you think you know
Yeah,
is actually
right.
this badass mamma jamma.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Mike, Kyle Schwarber, it didn't like I saw the 50 live, you know, we put out the graphics here at PHLY, and it didn't really set in with me until Rob Thompson in the locker room was like, only the 34th bleeping guy to do this in the history of the game, that it really set in how incredible that is. Now he's not going to catch Ryan Howard, because Ryan Howard had one of the greatest seasons ever. But Kyle Schwarber is right there behind Schmidt and the big piece as an all-time Phillies bopper. Really incredible what they've gotten in 4 years out of Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance, Jamie, to ask Schwarber this, but I would love to know his perspective on why he bounced around so much from team to team before he got to the Phillies. Was that all just circumstance? Were all those teams moronic for allowing him to walk away? Because he's been so good both as a home run hitter and in the clubhouse that it makes you wonder, like, why wouldn't the team want to keep this guy around? And I think you're 100% right. I think this is a big deal, in large part because the Phillies, even though they've been around a long, long time, as we all know, let's be honest here, don't have the track record of success that some other franchises do. It's not as if, the home run race between Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris is like a big part of their history, or they had Babe Ruth or Willie Mays or something like that. Like, they've lost more games than any team or franchise in North American sports. So when you get a season like this, you better treasure it. And he's been remarkable. And there's no reason, I don't think, to believe that he can't keep this going for another few years. You got to re-sign him because he's a designated hitter. His swing is just perfect. I've heard Jim Salisbury describe it really, really well. It's just so compact and so pure. There's no reason to think he can't continue to, if not hit 50 home runs in a season, at least be a very productive member of this lineup for a long time to come.
Mike, I wanted to touch on that too, because he's 32. Let's say he hits another 6. He'll need 160 to reach 500. Whew. I mean, that seems more than feasible in 4 to 5 years.
As a DH,
yeah. I think you got to bring him back and have him reach 500 here.
Yeah, I agree with you, VG. I think there are certain guys who just become part of the fabric of the city sports scene really, really quickly. And Schwarber was one of those guys from the jump back in 2022. I mean, the guy homered in his first at bat for the Phillies in the first at bat of that season, and has done nothing since then to change anybody's opinion of him or have anybody look at him in a kind of negative fashion. It's really remarkable. And as I said earlier, Jamie, you're 100% right about how rare this is. That season by Ryan Howard in 2006 was so out of this world. I'm not even sure today people, unless you were there for it, I'm not sure you can comprehend how great Howard was in 06. I mean, he was even better then than Schwarber has been this season now. Just amazing.
What was it, 139 RBIs that year?
149 RBIs,
149,
an OPS over 1,000. Like, it was just nuts. But Schwarber's been as good as you can probably be in this era of baseball, with batting averages falling and so many strikeouts. And yet here he is. I mean, he's hitting 240, but that's just a little bit below the major league average now.
Yeah.
Because, Trey Turner could win the batting title hitting 305 or whatever it is. I mean, this is like back in the 60s when they had to lower the mound for the pitchers. It's nuts. So all kudos to Kyle Schwarber.
And I'm looking at his postseason too. Just to go back to your question of why did he bounce around, he's played in 69 postseason games. He's got 21 home runs. I mean, the guy just produces.
Yeah, he's a great hitter. Todd Zalecki from MLB.com talked about this with me and Rob Ellis on WIP last weekend. That, I heard you guys mentioning the Nick Castellanos situation. And, I think that's a little bit of a concern, but Todd basically said Kyle Schwarber is the best clubhouse leader meaning Todd, have encountered since I started covering the Phillies back in 2005 or six. So there's reason to think that even if Castellanos is moping a little bit, Schwarber will get in his ear and kind of quell the situation. And, that's a huge part of his appeal and his value too. It'd be one thing if he's hitting 50 home runs, but was a jerk and a loner and all of that, but he's not.
So Mike, I'm one, like, it's John Middleton's money. I don't care. Spend every cent of it running the organization. I love that. But these contract negotiations in the offseason are going to be wild. I mean, he has won over the town, like you said. He does great work in the community. People love him. I know kids in his neighborhood that have walked up to his front door and knocked on the door and he signs them baseballs. Like, he is a Philadelphian. We claim him now. At what point does it get crazy in this contract negotiation where you go, ooh, that's too many years or that's too much money? Is there a point now?
I think, Jamie, you have to wait to see how the postseason plays out. And I say that not just because of what might happen during the postseason with respect to Schwarber. If he's the World Series MVP, for instance, and they win the whole thing, that changes the dynamic for him. But I also think it would probably change the dynamic for John Middleton as well, where he might be one of these guys who would be even more willing to spend on a guy like Schwarber to keep him if Schwarber has an amazing postseason. Also, love the subtle reference by you to Don Tollefson. Does great work in the community. A back in the day shout out there. That's awesome.
Mike, I got a ticket package for you that'll knock your socks off. I'll text you.
Just to get up.
Talk about ultimate Philadelphia. Talk about ultimate Philadelphia characters. There's Kyle Schwarber and then there's Don Tollefson.
Totally.
Yeah, Bob Nightengale had a note.
He mentioned it earlier this week about Schwarber. He said, forget all the talk about the Phillies slugger. Schwarber isn't going anywhere this winter. He loves Philly. More important, the Phillies love him. They simply will not be outbid by any team, knowing how vital he is to them. Not only their greatest power hitter, but the ultimate clubhouse leader. So
I think that says it. I mean, I've referred to John Middleton, guys, as Diet George Steinbrenner for a while now. I remember I was the guy who, in 2009, after they lost to the Yankees, was standing right next to Ryan Howard when Middleton knelt down in front of him and said, I want our bleeping trophy back. This guy's been this way for a long, long time. And I agree with what Nightengale reported there. I don't see any way that John Middleton allows Kyle Schwarber to leave, because it's not just, I've said this before, I think to you guys and to Anthony. The thing about sports, especially in Philadelphia, is, and I know it's hard to think this way because we all get so wrapped up in the Super Bowl or the World Series. It's not just about winning championships, especially with respect to the Phillies in baseball. It's about nights like last night and the night before, the 24-hour periods where you are engaged with your team and excited for a series against the Mets, and your team is in first place and 9 games up and every night is fun. That's part of this too. And John Middleton can look around at that ballpark and say a big reason that there are 40 to 45,000 people at Citizens Bank Park for that game last night is Kyle Schwarber. They want to see him hit the ball out of the ballpark. They want him to be part of this team if it's going to continue to win moving forward. It's not just whether you get to the World Series and win it. It's all those nights getting there.
And it's also why large statesides in the stadium are $28 a pop these days.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Oh my gosh.
Do you guys get a sense, like last night, Monday night, I was down there. It was big to beat the Mets, but last night was just like, all right, we were slaying this like beast that's been tormenting us.
To me,
we're
if it's not at Citi Field, it
No?
doesn't count.
I don't know. The Mets seem like they seem like they're beaten up right now.
They do seem a little beaten up. Again, I've said this before, nothing that happens during the regular season necessarily has any influence on the postseason.
Yeah.
They're two totally separate entities in Major League Baseball. I will say this, guys. I think most people who follow the Phillies or cover the Phillies or root for the Phillies went into this series looking only at the worst case scenario, saying to themselves, what happens if the Mets win 3 of 4, or God forbid, sweep the series, all of a sudden, a 7-game lead goes to 3 or 5 or whatever. Not as many people pointed out what would happen if the Phillies won 3 or 4, or, as they're halfway to doing now, swept the series, because that just, buries the Mets in the division. It gives the Phillies all kinds of leeway heading into the postseason to play for a first-round bye, and the rest and the momentum that would come with that. So it's been interesting to see. I wish I could explain why the Mets are so good at Citi Field against the Phillies, and the Phillies are so good at Citizens Bank Park against the Mets. It doesn't
cheating.
seem like, yeah.
Cameras,
Maybe,
microphones,
might
all
be
kinds
right.
of stuff.
You might be right.
Hey, before we move on maybe to the Eagles, I wanted to, Murphy, your colleague, he wrote a piece today that almost should be a piece that you wrote, because it's going to poke a lot of people who are not Topper fans. He is saying Topper should be considered for NL Manager of the Year this year for the work he's done, including having a depleted bullpen. He lost a Cy Young candidate. Harper's out 23 games. Now there's no Trey Turner. And more importantly, the wizardry he has done with the outfield platoon. Do you think Topper is in the running or should get Manager of the Year?
Yes.
Yeah?
I agree completely. Yeah, I agree completely with what Murph wrote. I don't understand. This puzzles me, and I guess it just speaks to the nature of a lot of Phillies fans and the way they look at baseball. I don't understand how anybody could come away from Charlie Manuel's tenure as the Phillies manager and not understand that a manager's most important role is to establish a work environment where his players can thrive and where the team can thrive. It's not about making decisions during a game. It's not about what pitchers you might bring in, or when you take out the starter, or who you bench this day against this matchup. It is about, can you create an environment where these guys play to their highest level? And Thompson does that. You guys mentioned it about his address to the team last night. You can see the way that these guys respond to him. And by that measure, he's been as good as anybody in baseball. So yeah, I agree with Murph.
Mike, I think if you polled Phillies fans at the trade deadline, obviously Duran was like an A+ move. But I think at the time you looked at Harrison Bader and you were like, seriously, this is the upgrade you're giving the outfield? People would have felt like overall pretty lukewarm about the trade deadline. It's hard not to look back at it with hindsight being 2020 and give them an A+ for this trade deadline with the impact that Harrison Bader has had on this team. Talk about what a great move it was. Is this something sustainable that he can keep up? And does he have a chance here to kind of become like a little bit of a trade deadline folklore in Phillies history if he keeps this up?
Yeah, I think so, Jamie. I mean, look, the trade deadline to one degree or another always comes down to a little bit of luck and chance.
Sure.
You're banking that whoever you get is going to be really, really good for 2 or 3 months. And you don't necessarily need him to be really, really good beyond that, right? Like, to make a move like the Bader move, the Duran move is a little bit different because he's under control and was already an elite closer. But Bader is somebody you're taking a chance on. So in that respect, the Phillies have kind of lucked out in a way that maybe Dombrowski hadn't in some of the other deadline moves he made. But I do think there's something to be said for, when it comes to baseball, I'm a vibes guy. And there's something about Bader, kind of the way he carries himself, kind of strutting, kind of bopping around, that I think this team needed a little bit of.
He's got a little swag to him.
Yeah. And look, like we've talked about Schwarber and the leadership of the clubhouse, and I don't think there's anybody in that clubhouse who isn't, giving his all, every single day. The issue with this team, at least in the playoffs, has been they start squeezing bats into sawdust, when things get a little tight. And they kind of needed a guy who just treated a game in the middle of June, treated a game in September or October the same way he would treat a game in the middle of June. And I mean that in the best way possible. He's just loose all the time. He doesn't seem to let things get to him. And I think Bader brings a little bit of that. Now, I'm not around the team every day to know that for certain, but it just seems that way, just kind of from looking at him, that there's this relaxed, confident sense that he has about him. And the other thing too is that he's a really good outfielder.
Yeah.
They're much better defensive. Their outfield is much better defensively for having him and Marsh in there more often. And that matters too.
Just to touch on it, how much better is he than Rojas? What a difference having him in center field.
Yeah, especially because Rojas was so ineffective offensively that he had to catch everything and then some in the outfield to justify his existence. And he didn't do that. He was making too many plays where you went, isn't this guy supposed to be like a world-class center fielder? And
right.
He's dropping this ball or misjudging this ball or throwing to the wrong base or doing that and the other thing. I mean, he was great sometimes too, but it wasn't great enough to justify keeping him in the lineup. So you take what Bader gives them defensively, you add in what he has given them offensively, and the results speak for themselves.
Mike, before we let you get out of here, Super Bowl rematch on Sunday. Birds, Chiefs. We were talking about it earlier. It feels like the Chiefs, I'm never going to have a hot take about Patrick Mahomes. He's, the game's probably best quarterback still, whatever. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, they're all great. It feels like the Chiefs have at least plateaued a little bit. I don't know if they're a lock to be a Super Bowl team every year. Do you get the sense at all that the Chiefs are kind of humanized and maybe the Eagles broke their spirits a little bit?
It's a really good question, Jamie, because it's by the numbers, it's early to say that.
Sure.
Right? They were 15-2 during the regular season last year. I know how they won some of those games was kind of improbable, and they won like 11 straight one-score games. But man, they got to that Super Bowl, and they did not belong on the field with the Eagles. And the funny part was, looking back, and those of us who were around the team that whole week kind of sensed this, the Eagles knew it going into that game. You could tell from being around them that they felt like if we play our game, we're going to win this Super Bowl handily. And the thing that I'm kind of wondering about with respect to the Chiefs is it was in Andy's 13th season with the Eagles where things started to get a little stale and started to really kind of go downhill. That was the dream team year.
Yeah.
2011, and then the following year, the bottom fell out. This is Andy's 13th year.
Is it really already?
Yeah.
Wow.
And again, not around them all the time,
Sure.
just kind of looking at that timeline and saying, I wonder if there's a fresh start that's needed here in some way. I'm with you. I don't think it has as much to do with Mahomes as it does what's around him and whether Andy's got to take a step back and say, I've got to change some things here.
Travis Kelce just looks like he kind of aged 5 years all of a sudden. I think it happened quick with him where he looks like he kind of looks like an old man running tight end. Like he looks like a normal, just like run of the mill tight end anymore. Now he's going to have great games and I'm probably going to look like an idiot for saying that, but it just feels like, I don't know. They're leveled.
To steal a line from a movie that I happen to be writing a book about, Jamie, women weaken legs.
Taylor Swift ruining one of the great tight ends of all time, clearly.
Just kidding.
Yeah. Anything on your docket coming up, Mike, that the people should know about?
Just plugging away on some stuff for the Inquirer. I won't be there in Kansas City this weekend. Marcus Hayes is going for us to columnize, but plugging away on stuff for the Inky and on the Rocky book and living the dream.
Love it. Now, you've been to KC before. Do you have a preferred barbecue destination when you are in town? What's your spot?
I haven't been there in a really, really long time, and actually went to Waffle House the last time I was there, which was 2005.
I recently made my first Waffle House trip in Tampa.
Your first one?
I had never been.
What?
No.
Covered in smothered,
a
baby.
Waffle House visit doesn't even count unless it's like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a true Waffle House experience.
That is, and
Grand
it's
Slam.
Absolutely. And it's funny. I'll tell you this quick story. So it was in 2005. I was working for the Bucks County Courier-Times at the time. And I went with Reuben Frank. We were working together. And we went to a Waffle House after the Eagles played the Chiefs. And we were driving back to our hotel. And we had to go on this relatively long stretch of highway in Missouri. And we weren't 100% sure of where we were going. And we were kind of driving like 49 and a 55, and a state trooper comes up behind us and pulls us over. And we're like, oh no, what's going on here? We're not from around here. What's going to happen? And the guy just walks up to the window and is like, "Hey there, fellas. Looks like you weren't sure where you were going. Can I point you in some direction?"
What?
And we're like, "Yeah, we are not in Philadelphia anymore."
Well, keep up the great work, Mike. We appreciate your time. Make sure you're following him online and reading his work at the Inquirer. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate
Mike.
it.
There he is, Mike Sealski on the Xfinity mobile call-in line. And, of course, this portion of the program, you like that little program? Program.
Yeah.
Is brought to you by the lovely people out at Parks Casino and Sportsbook. Coming up, we are going to talk a little fantasy football. You want to talk about emotional roller coasters? Watch me on a fantasy week 1.
Yeah.
Because I went from cursing all of my teams, telling my buddy Yahoo was like crapping on my draft grade, telling me I was only going to win 1 game. And then I get a performance from Ekbuka. And I'm like, I'm going to Titletown, baby.
Yeah.
The dynasty piece.
Oh, I've been in leagues with you, so I know the ups and downs.
Well, that was your 1 game.
high highs,
This
low
is-
lows.
That was your 1 win. Now you're
Yeah.
done.
It's a shame Geek doesn't do baseball because we're in the league every year. Jamie's like, I love my team after the draft, and you're always in the bottom 3 every year.
I've stopped playing fantasy basketball because I suck there. Fantasy baseball, high highs, low lows.
It's a long
But we're going to talk to the Geek coming up next. And then at the end of the show, we're going to talk a little World Cup in Philly with the lovely people from the World Cup Committee. We're going to tell you about some friends of ours here at PHLY, and then we'll check in with the Geek after this. Let me tell you about the Parks Online Casino. The Excite Center out at Parks Casino is one of the many things I love about my casino of choice. Parks Casino is Pennsylvania's #1 casino, and it's so close to Philadelphia. It's right there in Ben Salem, off Street Road. You can get there easily from 95 or the Turnpike. Every time, I feel like everybody in the greater Delaware Valley lives about at most 35 minutes from Parks Casino. It's just easy to get to. The Excite Center is the state-of-the-art entertainment venue. I've been there many times. Beautiful venue. Inside Parks Casino, named one of the best places to see the country's best comedians and music headliners. Shane Gillis performed there like 3 years ago before he absolutely just took off like a skyrocket. So you can catch just some tremendous acts out at the Parks Casino. And pregame, what's better than stopping in the amazing beer garden or maybe popping by a slot machine, playing a little bit of roulette, cards, and other table games you love while you wait to see the show you're seeing. Parks Casino, this is how you win. Must be 21 and over, and gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, if you're looking for a car, which I may be pretty soon, and you can meet me over here at Cherry Hill Kia. Because if you're looking for amazing deals and super low lease payments, KiaofCherryHill.com is the place to be. They have a massive selection, over 450 new Kias to choose from. They have over 40 Tellurides, over 100 Sportages, over 35 Carnivals, over 75 Celtos, and more importantly, over 80 Souls, which I think I might be driving soon. I got to tell you, Kia is the hottest automotive brand in the country for a reason. 7 of their models received 2025 Car and Driver Editor's Choice Awards. That's amazing because consider this. There were more than 450 models tested and only 20 models industry-wide received this award. Combine that with the best warranty in the automotive business. They give you 10 years, 100,000-mile powertrain, and 5 years, 60,000-mile bumper-to-bumper. Stop in today, tell them PHLY sent you, and receive a $100 Restaurant.com gift card just for taking a test drive or completing a trade appraisal. Hop over, $100 at Restaurant.com gift card. So I know people buy IKEAs elsewhere. I just don't know why. They're just fools, I guess. Drive home in your new Kia today, just minutes from all bridges, or available online 24/7 at KiaofCherryHill.com.
All right, this is the Anthony Gargano Show live from the Xfinity Studios. The Geek's going to be joining us momentarily, but we got a jam-packed last half hour. Let's get a little thumbs up for the last half hour of this program. We got VG's Nugs to get to. We got Back in the Day to get to. We got the World Cup Committee coming in. Tons going on. Kyle Schwarber's hitting 50 home runs for the Phillies. Life is good. The Birds are 1-0. Did you see Kelly Oubre last night on Instagram?
No.
Oh, Kelly Oubre decided to
Is he riding his bike?
tell the people of Philadelphia that he's not feeling the love anymore. He doesn't know what happened, but he's not feeling.
You have amnesia? He been hit on the head. How does he not know what happened?
He was basically like, what did I do? I'm not feeling the love from Philadelphia anymore. Hopefully this is something we can move fast.
Sorry, bro. We'll try and fawn over you for the worst season we've seen in a decade.
My first thought was, bro, stop being selfish. Nobody cares about you. Everybody just kind of hates the team right now.
Yeah, you're just a whatever.
Yeah. You're a veteran journeyman.
Yeah, start a podcast.
But did you see the footage yesterday released by the Sixers?
No, I am zoned out on the Sixers.
Joel.
Yeah. Is he in the gym with Ben working out?
Braceless in the gym.
I don't want to see any gym videos. I don't want to see them.
In the gym without the brace on, VG.
No, I don't care. I've seen Ben Simmons hit 4,000 threes in the gym.
This is not Ben Simmons. You know Joel Embiid can actually shoot.
It's probably AI. Who knows? They photoshopped the brace off his knee. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it till the season starts.
I'll get there for the season tip-off.
You're going to be amped up for the season tip-off?
VJ Edgecombe kind of excites me.
Nah,
he's got a little lead.
I'm a huge fan of that guy.
There was a video of Joel, playing, doing the step back J and moving. He looked all right. I'm not going to read too much into that. But there was another highlight of VJ Edgecombe
jumping over Joel,
darting down the lane, and just like that dude dunks ferociously.
Oh, he's
going to be pretty exciting. McCain was doing a TikTok yesterday in his apartment, doing some stanky leg knee bending. He looked pretty good.
I love his TikToks.
I am not a TikToker, so I get them usually from you.
Yes.
But his knee looked good. He was like kind of flexing it inward a little bit. I
don't want to see it.
So the knees in Philadelphia looking good prior to the Sixers.
If Edgecombe gets a handle, improves that handle, he's going to be fun.
And by the way, I see some of the supporters clubs in the chat, Mr. Fultz, Mr. Joe Rockhead, lots of people with the SC supporter badge. If you see it there in the chat, don't forget you can join us here at the Supporters Club at PHLY. These guys are OGs. They are some of our first 10 supporters clubs. So they're going to have a literal badge of honor. If they stick with us in the supporters club, it's going to be with there. And everybody that joins after is going to be like, wow, how did Joe
these
Rockhead
guys
and Futz get that awesome? Well, they were OG supporters club people. So if you want to support us here at PHLY, you can hop in the supporters club. You get some unique content behind the scenes. You get some unique emojis that we make. And the more supporters that join, the more emojis we're allowed to release. So think about supporting us here. All right, let's go.
Well, hold on. If you're like me and you're a little tech, like, I don't know. You hit the subscribe button, and then you pick the MVP club, and that's where you join through that. Yeah.
Easy peasy. All right, let's go back to the Xfinity mobile call-in line. Talk a little fantasy football with the Geek.
There he is.
What's going on, fellas?
How are you? Anthony is out today because he has something very special cooking up with our Philadelphia Flyers team. I've always watched from afar, but it's an honor to talk to you, Mr. Geek.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here. Week 1, what an exciting first week of football we had. People in a panic right now. There's a lot of people panicking.
So I was one that was panicking prior to the season. I've whittled myself down to just 2 leagues because I found that anything more than 2 leagues, I get confused about who's on what team, and I think something good happened in one league, and it's actually the opposite, and I'm playing that guy, and it just became too much. So I'm down to just 2. And heading into week 1, I don't know. I wasn't feeling great. I drafted some guys I don't typically draft, which I'm kind of going like George Costanza opposite day, like in that theory. And week 1 ended up being great for me. I went 2-0. And Ikbuka, the wide receiver on Tampa Bay from Ohio State, was one of the guys I targeted in like that 7th round area, keeper territory. He looked like he's going to pay some dividends for me. So now I'm back to irrationally. I'm taking both my leagues, Mr. Geek. What were your impressions of week 1? Overreactions, underreactions, just general takeaways from week 1 of the season.
Yeah, I think we learned a lot in week 1. We had some things solidify, and we had some things happen that weren't expected. So many things. I'll focus in on, for example, Travis Etienne, who so solidified his role as the RB1 for the Jaguars. They were like, Tank Bigsby, gone. The next day, traded away. Like, all right. Etienne had a good game, and that was it. We also saw Trevor Lawrence not look very good, so I'm a little worried about that whole passing attack. Brian Thomas Jr. with a dud. No panic, but just interesting.
No Joe Burrow panic?
No. Joe Slow Roll? He always starts slow. That's like, no, I already knew this. We knew that Joe Burrow takes till about week 3 until he gets his sort of legs under him. There were a lot of teams in week 1 that were out of sync. And so a lot of what I'm looking at is this just a team out of sync, or is there a larger problem here, a more systemic issue that we need to be truly fearful of? Like Miami looked terrible, but I think it might be systemic over there.
Yeah.
I think it might be a dumpster fire. Like it might be a dumpster fire in Miami this year.
When your coach says, "It can't get much worse," you wait. Yeah,
Yeah,
The players don't
yeah.
react to that really well.
It's getting worse. So, like, am I excited about my Devon Achane shares? No, because as you know, he's fine. But if the whole team turns into a dumpster fire, that's going to affect everybody. And so, yeah, be a little bit concerned there. There were players that emerged. I think there were 2 players that emerged on the same team, actually, on the Browns, that I think will continue to do it all year. And Fannin Jr., the tight end. I mean, this kid lit
Bowling
up college.
Green. Yeah, we talked about him at draft time. He was a promising tight end prospect.
They love him in Cleveland. I'm watching the tape. These are schemed plays. I think he had 9 receptions. These were not accidental checkdowns. These were schemed plays to Fannin. They're using him as a weapon, using him out of the backfield. Get on your waiver wire. You know, you lost George Kittle this week. You lost Evan Ingram. You thought he was going to be. Drop him. Go pick up Fannin Jr. Get him before the rest of your league mates figure out that story is probably a real story that will continue all the way throughout the season.
So I was going to ask you, because as we had someone in chat saying they had lost Kittle, all the good tight ends are gone. Is that someone you'd recommend to pick up as a replacement?
Yeah, I mean, and to say all the good tight ends are gone, that's what I'm saying. No, they're not. Fannin is available.
Both my leagues. I just checked. Damn it.
Yeah, there you go. See, I like that you're doing the pickups because your league mates are watching
I have Evan
the
Ingram,
show.
and I
They're
guess
watching.
we don't know his status yet.
I would not count on him. So, like for Evan Ingram, you go pick up Brenton Strange if you need to. Juwan Johnson from the Saints. That's not going to stop either. The Juwan Johnson target share is probably not going to slow down. So I like that story as well. But Fannin Jr. would be the top guy. If you need a wide receiver this week, guys.
Yeah, who you got?
Doesn't. 2 names popping. One probably longer term, but one probably better, but short term. Hollywood Brown on the Chiefs with Xavier Worthy going down, right? Rashee Rice still waiting on him. Worthy will not be back for the next couple of weeks, and that injury that he got is a re-aggravation risk, 50% re-aggravation when you recover. So people forgot that Hollywood Brown was the WR1 for multiple seasons for the Ravens, was brought over to the Cardinals to be their WR1. He's not some scrub. This is a guy who was drafted and as a WR1, and he's been that his whole career. Had some injuries, went to Cardinals where wide receivers go to not be good. You can't really take too much away from the stint with Arizona, but last year I was very excited with him. He gets hurt. We all forgot about him. He got hurt, and it's like, this guy is now a scrub. No, he's an actual good wide receiver that's going to get tons and tons of opportunity over the next 3 weeks. He goes in your starting lineup when you pick him up. That's what's so cool. I love a waiver pickup that's free. Or, you pay a little. I use my waiver in one. I use a little fob in another one. And he's starting for me this week. Like, he's starting ahead of guys who I took in round 6, 7. Like, I'm playing him ahead of Jerry Jeudy. Sure. I'm playing him ahead of George Pickens. Yeah. Why not? Like, 16 targets last week. That's what we're looking for. And now he gets to take on an Eagles team that's going to be scoring this week. So the Chiefs are going to have to be answering. So a lot of back and forth potential in that game. Hollywood Brown, start him. And if you miss him, I got a second one.
Who you got?
Yes. And this one is a little sneakier, and he's probably free, and no one went after him. Keyshawn Booty from the Patriots.
Love a booty.
He's got that booty, right? We already
know.
Not
general booty.
No. He got 9 targets, 6 receptions. There are people out of New England, beats, and just people in the know out of New England who are making the statement that they think Booty will be the most targeted wide receiver on New England this year, above Diggs above, maybe
Wow.
Pop Douglas. Like, it could be Booty. What if it's Booty?
What if?
Could be.
I've
He
asked
was really
myself
good
that
in
my
college
entire
for the
life.
first year. If you
Yeah.
guys remember, he was elite in college his first year, and then he just kind of fell off the next couple seasons. There was a lot of hype, and that's why he dropped to the 6th round. But I think Booty could be that guy. So I picked him up as well in leagues where it's a little deeper, but he's not an immediate starter for me. Hollywood Brown, if you got him, he's probably in your starting lineup this week, regardless of what your draft looked like.
All right, I'm going to put you on the griddle here because I need a tight end, and I'm going to grab Juwan Johnson here. He's on my waiver. I have Evan Ingram. Now, here's the problem with the week 1, week 2. Do I drop? Do I don't? Michael Penix. I had Will Shipley as like my last round draft pick, knowing he was the guy I was going to like cut bait with. Michael Penix Jr. was out there before the game, and I just had a sense like he's going to have a strong year. It's a keeper league. Let me grab him before he becomes a hot waiver claim. Appears to be the right decision. Now you tell me, who do I bench or who do I cut of these people? I have Evan Ingram. I have Cam Scatterbo. I have Darnell Mooney, CJ Stroud, Cedric Tillman, Marvin Mims Jr., and Michael Penix Jr. Who do I drop?
It sounds like a lot of teams. I think Mims Jr. is droppable, not because he's bad. I like him. He's good. But I'm trying to think of the context of the keeper, and that adds an element that's a little tricky. There's different rules for keeper leagues. But my general feeling is Mims Jr. is the kind of wide receiver that should be available to you on waivers at all times. Like, I'll pick him up. He's good for a spot start, but he's also not a guy who's generally going to see
I'm not going to start him. Yeah.
Yeah, so like, what do you care? I actually wouldn't even hold a guy like that on my bench. I'd rather go to the waivers. And even you mentioned Will Shipley. Maybe it's Tank Bigsby now, but I would rather go onto the waiver wire and pick up other names that are backup running backs with what do you got
for me there? I need one of these guys.
There's nothing good here. The guy to pick up that you might, if you need a start this week, it's probably Dylan Sampson, who should be available in most leagues. Dylan Sampson, 6 targets. They absolutely are going to use him in a sort of scat back. It's the role that you want on that Baltimore team, right? I don't need the between the tackles guy, be it Ford or Quinshon Judkins when he gets up to speed. I don't need that guy on the worst team in the NFL that can't score a touchdown, which is probably what the Browns might be. Well, actually, no disrespect to the Saints there, but the Browns being at that bottom tier, actually no disrespect to the Saints or the Panthers, who are both going for the title of worst team this year, but the Browns are in competition. And give me the scat back 6 target guy. First, a rookie, his first game, all those targets, all receptions. I like it. I think there's upside and an arrow pointing up on, if I need an emergency start, I'm going for it with Sampson at running back.
All right, I got a couple quick ones from the chat. People, Krosky Merritt over Kenneth Walker.
Yes. Yes. And if Krosky Merritt is available, by the way, this is another one.
Run.
Kenny Walker, unplayable. Take him out. No.
All right, and we need 3 of 4. Devontae Smith, Keon Coleman, Zay Flowers, and Garrett Wilson.
Oof.
You got to play Wilson.
Zay Flowers looked electric on Sunday night.
Zay Flowers had the best game of his NFL career on Sunday. He's really good, but Wilson, what were the other ones? They're
Keon Coleman, Devontae Smith, Zay Flowers.
Oof. I hate to say
this
Devontae.
week. Oh my goodness.
Sounds like a problem of some riches.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna who do I Smith? I think Smith could have a big week this week. Talking Keon Coleman, the emerging WR1 for the Bills. I say that's too good of a group of choices without actual.
You can't make a mistake.
In front of me.
You can't go wrong with those.
Just play those guys. But Wilson has to be in the lineup. That is a must. Okay. I would say probably Zay Flowers is the least good for this week, just because the matchup really favors just like Derrick Henry smashing these guys in the face. It's not like a competitive game. What we saw last week with Baltimore, in a competitive matchup, they'll turn it up and they'll go bananas because they're that good. But in a non-competitive game environment, I'd rather not play Zay Flowers this week. So I'm going to bench Zay Flowers of that group.
And real quick, CJ Stroud, just selfishly, is see a candidate to cut bait with in the near future?
Yeah, get rid of him. Yeah, he's not. I would rather have. You ready for this? This is going to be painful.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Daniel Jones.
Wow.
Than CJ Stroud. I'd rather start. There's no version of a game where I think I'm going to be starting CJ Stroud at any time soon. I'll start Danny Jones. Dimes.
Danny Dimes.
Out there, he's back to being dimes. Let's go. Toss some dimes out there. Running for touchdowns. That's my favorite thing.
Your hits every week with Anthony are must watch. I know the chat loves it because they get to pepper a pro with their questions. So thanks for your input. As always, where can the people find you, follow you, wherever?
Guys, you can find me, of course, on Twitter, and I'll always answer any questions here for the members of the show at Football Geek. At DFS Armies, our DFS site, we had $1 million winner in NFL Week 1.
Wow.
Use the domination station, the core plays, our optimizer, boom, took down the big DraftKings million this week. So we're celebrating at DFS Army as well. It's really been a special week. Week 1 was amazing because I loved Pearsall and we loved Igbuga. Some of those names that you mentioned, we were on them, and everything came together. So hopefully week 2 we'll get it going again.
All right, great stuff. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Geek.
There he is, the Geek on the Xfinity mobile call-in line. We have some people here from the World Cup that we're going to get to momentarily, but we got to get to Nugs.
All right.
VG's Nugs brought to you by
Fine people at Golden Nugget Jewelers.
I believe that's where Philly gets engaged.
It is where everybody gets engaged. Let's talk about it. I love these things where they find these kickers in college, these fans that come out and kick.
Oh, this guy is, I know where you're going. This guy is awesome.
For $25,000,
I love college football because of stuff like this.
Missouri brings a guy out against Kansas to kick a field goal. He comes out with a shirt. He lifts his shirt up and it says FKU underneath.
And he's taunting the Missouri fans.
He's taunting them. No, he's taunting the
Kansas fans.
The Kansas team. And he doesn't even try and kick the field goal. He kicks the ball at the Kansas bench.
And he has a prosthetic leg too.
He does. He's an amputee. Yeah. This guy is so happy about doing it.
So it's so funny because I read up about him yesterday, and he said the kick was, I think it's like a 55-yarder or something crazy.
Yes.
So he went into the room when he found out he was selected, and he told his wife, "Nobody is making this kick. I'm getting my money's worth, and I'm booting it over at the sideline of the team." And then he's flexing, showing the shirt that says "F you."
KU.
College football is the best because of like the pageantry and like how much people care. Yes. And I think his quote was, "I hate that state. I hate that team. They make me sick." Like, talk about a guy that gets it. Good for you. Love that story.
Yes. Do we have it, Andrew, or no?
Yeah, it's loading. But it was a pretty good boot over at the sideline. He went with like a little bit of a line drive kick at the bench.
Yes.
Pretty funny.
All right. Well, there is video. I would do a search if you can't find it. Marshawn Lynch, what's he up to these days?
Cousin Marshawn?
Yeah, you know what he's doing?
He's acting in movies.
Acting. I saw him in the movie Bottoms. He was a gym coach. He was awesome.
He's great.
He was in Brazil taking photos. He's an official photographer.
Yes. It's like he got the photography
on the NFL sideline.
Ken Griffey Jr., Randy Johnson.
Yes.
Malcolm Jenkins now.
He does it too?
Yeah, he was at the I think he was at training camp as a photog. A lot of these guys get the photography, but I mean,
if you haven't seen Bottoms, Marshawn Lynch was hysterical in that movie.
Marshawn. But like, it's a good passion for people with money because this equipment's expensive.
Yes.
And like, I don't want to like put down photography, but it's something you can
stress-free.
Yeah, like it's relaxing. Yeah. You can kind of become somewhat a master. Yeah. Not a master, but you can become pretty good at it.
You take good shots.
Yeah.
Take a class or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool hobby.
Right.
I get it.
How are you on Savannah Bananas?
So my cousin, who lives just down the street from me, him and his family are nuts about it. They've gone both times at Citizens Bank Park. He's even watched it on ESPN at times. He's explained it to me as I've watched with him. I get why it's a huge thing. I think it's a lot of fun. Never want to yuck somebody's yum.
Yeah.
I personally don't really care, but I get it.
Yeah. I was out on it, but then I saw the play, which is great, like Harlem Globetrotters, but the umpire in this call. Have you seen the umps?
No,
I didn't even know the
did
umps
you see
were
him roast
involved.
Phillies Karen the other day too?
Yes.
There from
Watch this umpire make this call.
Tellier behind the back. Fires the heater in. And between the legs with the
Between the
bounce.
legs.
Look at the ump.
Bloomer pulls off the professor. Sal Jacobo behind the back at first base with the reception. Double triple.
Behind the through the
And
leg.
he catches it behind the back.
Hits.
Yeah. All of that is pretty impressive. I gotta say.
It is like super impressive that these guys are doing what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I want to pay the money to go watch that in person?
I don't know.
No, but I'll watch the highlights
might
online.
with some good music. I don't know. That
I get
umpire
it.
is like,
I just
Banana Boys.
the guy that runs the organization seems like he gets it.
Like the
You know,
yellow
he
suit
doesn't
guy?
want to sell out. Like he wants the fans to be the most important thing, and like he's had opportunities to sell, and he doesn't want to do it yet. Like he wants to own it.
and I just saw they were in like Charlotte. They generated like $30 million over
insane.
2 or 3 nights in Charlotte.
They did a sold out. Like was it Tennessee's football stadium?
Yes, there's like 70,000 people coming out to watch
There's
this.
like 100,000 people.
100,000 to watch this.
It's insane. So good for them.
Yes. Let's go to. There's a lady in Alabama right before the Powerball went off. It was like 1.5.
Yeah, 1 point. Yeah.
This is also why college football is so great. They asked this woman what she'd do if she won
Caitlin
Powerball.
DeBoer, don't listen.
I tell you exactly what I'd do with the first $70 million. I'd pay off Kalen DeBoer and get him the heck out of the University of Alabama, and then I'd take whatever else it took to get rid of the AD. I'd give him church money.
She's gonna buy
How much
out.
of what I'd have, after I paid my taxes. But I'm sure I'd have plenty with this kind of deal. But I know I'm not gonna win. I just hope I win some scratch-offs. I just do it for the fun.
She's off the scratch. She's gonna
Great twang.
buy out the coach and then the AD.
That's so funny.
Like no house, nothing.
Like there's so many times I regret not going to like a big D1 football program
Yeah.
to feel that connection. Like I have a Fugazi connection with Penn State just because
Right.
like a lot of my cousins went there and I'd go up to games. But like I don't live and die it.
Yeah,
if they
I
lose, I'm like, oh yeah, well,
Yeah, I
that's-
miss. I made that mistake as well.
Like that connection with a college team, like the pageantry of college football, the stadium, the tailgate. Like,
Yeah.
it's so cool when you see somebody that has that connection with a college team.
Yeah, totally understand.
The AD.
Yeah, you want to do it back in the day before we do soccer?
Yeah, can we squeeze it in? Yeah, we can squeeze it in 3 minutes, can't we?
Oh yeah, it's a quick one.
Let's get it.
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day with True Mark. Oh yeah.
All right, 6 years ago today.
This is Kelly Body segment over at True Mark Financial.
True Mark.
Huh? Yeah. Called this in.
6 years ago today,
Ooh.
a phenom here in Philadelphia
Freddie Adu.
helped the Phillies beat the Braves 6-5 with an inside the park home run. Scotty Jetpacks.
Look at the ivy.
Back to the fence. Does he have a chance? He jumps and he dropped the ball. It's kicked around.
What are you doing, man? Pick it up.
He's to third. He's home. The throw to the plate by Albies is not in time.
Wow.
I didn't even remember that happening. You had told me Kingery had an inside the Parker, I would have never. True or false? I would have said false.
That's not Acuna in center field, and it wasn't Harris.
I don't know who that was.
What were they thinking?
Just what did you think is happening?
You had it for a second and you dropped
See,
it?
like, hey, it's a home run. I dropped it.
Dude, pick the ball up and get it in there.
Yeah.
What a bonehead.
Yeah.
Are there still trees out there? I know like the ivy, obviously.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it's
all
still-
the way
it's
up.
Do they
still-
still have trees?
Still trees.
There are?
Yeah, yeah.
It's wild to see when the ballpark opened and like the lack of ivy.
Oh, yeah.
Monty's corner, like
Yeah.
Schwarber's bomb last night. That was nice. He didn't have to put it in the stands for people to fight over.
Yes,
Got that one away
yes,
from the
yes.
fans. That's good work by him.
Yes.
But yeah, it's wild to see the wall now just all covered in ivy, like in the early stuff. Citizens Bank Park is the best.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good back in the day. I didn't remember that either.
No clue. No memories.
But yeah, check out True Mark Financial for all your financial needs. It's good to have a credit union on your side. They do great stuff with the green light and the youth financial literacy, which is oh so important. We are going to be joined momentarily by Bree Webster Stanko from the World Cup Committee. She works with the Philadelphia Convention and Visitors Bureau. We're going to talk to her momentarily. We're going to go into overtime here before we do so. So let's send it to overtime. And let's welcome her into the Xfinity Studios. Welcome.
Nice. Thanks for having me.
Bree Webster Stenko is the Deputy Executive Director at PHL Sports, a business division of the Philadelphia Convention and Visitors Bureau. And I would imagine these days you are busier than you've ever been in your life in the best possible way.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Yes, it's a mouthful. Yeah, so I appreciate that.
PHLCVB, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
So our whole mission of PHL Sports and the division is to attract major sporting events to the city to create economic impact, fill the hotel rooms, the hospitality community. So yes, very busy times. And I also serve as tournament officer for FIFA World Cup and Philadelphia Soccer 2026 and the local organizing committee. So
yeah, a lot going on next year with Philadelphia area, from PGAs at Aronimink to All-Star games to World Cups. There's so much going on. Why don't you just talk about the impact it's going to have on the people that live here? Because there's going to be a lot of international people coming in. There's going to be a lot of hotels and restaurants getting booked, and transportation, and King of Prussia people coming in, and people coming from all over.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the impact on the area.
Yeah, sure. I mean, collectively, the World Cup, we're expecting 500,000 visitors for World Cup alone. And then the calendar, we start with NCAA basketball. We go into PGA, FIFA, and then we turned to MLB All-Star.
Yeah.
And so it's a definitely busy calendar. The economic impact for the CVB in the calendar-wise is over $1 billion in economic impact, with all the different 20 citywide events at the convention center and the sporting events that we talked about. Is definitely a big impact to the region, to the city, that we're excited. Banner year.
So with all that, what goes on? What goes into preparing the city for all that?
Yeah, this isn't something that started last week, right? You guys started years ago in this process.
It's funny. We started the FIFA bid process. Our bid was due December 2017. So it was years ago, the bid process, and then we weren't awarded as host city until June of 2022. So again, a long journey it's been, but it's also, from 2022 to now, the planning process is in place. I got to go to Doha and Qatar to see the function of the World Cup and see the training sites and the how they like to organize the different constituent groups and the hotels and the fan journey. So having that lead time is amazing because we can see, how it operates in different countries and cities. And same with MLB All-Star. We were awarded that in 2019.
Yeah.
Again, long planning runway, and have been to DC, Seattle. A whole group with us went to Atlanta this past year to see, what the cities do, how they operate, how they work with all the venues, and, learning that and bring it to Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy process with the World Cup in general. Like, how does it work for the teams in terms of, because we don't know who's going to be here yet for what games, and that's the next big step for all the planning. But like, from training facilities to hotel stay, like, how complex is that in getting all those pieces in place that make the teams feel comfortable in their host cities when they're playing?
Yeah, it is complex. It's definitely a puzzle that we put together. And our city and our compact footprint is one of our major selling points. Our hotel community, we have over 14,000 room nights just in Center City alone. So for the fans, for the teams, the ease of that, and the connectivity from the airport to Stadium District to Center City, we're very connective, and we were ranked first for the third year in a row of the most walkable city. So expanding that event footprint touches different neighborhoods in the city, and that connectivity and moving fans around is important, and is one of our major selling points.
Yeah, you guys, recently Philadelphia had the FIBA World Cup, and that was kind of, in a way, I mean, it was a major soccer event around the world, a little bit of a guinea pig test run for the bigger event next summer. Did you guys learn good things, bad things from it? Like, was that truly like an experiment for you guys to improve upon?
Yeah.
Not that you need improving upon, but you know what I mean?
No, absolutely. It was a learning opportunity, and we took it as that. It's a small taste of what we expect on a grander scale next year. It was cool for the venues and the city to see the soccer culture. Match day -1, they're meeting at Love Park, they're meeting at Rocky Steps and chanting and having their banners and a pep rally, on their own. And then on match day to see some of the teams did a fan march. So working with our Office of Special Events and all the different agencies within the city, making sure the fan marches go smoothly and enter the stadium in a good way. And it was, like I said, the venues too, like the training sites. UPenn was utilized for roads for a training site. NovaCare, Subaru Park and Wisfis Training Complex was Chelsea's team base camp. Chelsea won the whole tournament. So it was really good, a good learning experience for everybody involved.
As far as like a big thing always is like gameplay in the surface, being a football to a soccer pitch, I think they call it.
There you go. That's good work.
So,
You got it right there. Yeah.
Did the teams, were there any complaints? Did they like how the field was at Lincoln Financial?
They loved it. Tony Leonard is a guru on the pitch. FIFA leans on him heavily. Top notch. The coaches, the teams raved about the playing surface. So that is always a feather in our cap, and we lean on that hard. Pitch is very important to FIFA, number one, with the players' safety, and knocked it out of the park.
If you need some, Philadelphia has a lot of great soccer bars, and a lot of like the EPL teams have like their home bars. There's Fido's and Founding Father, Black Sheep, like you go around.
O'Neill's, Everton bar.
Yeah, if you guys need to, run an expense account to go and test these pubs out for you, me and VG are happy to go around.
Oh, perfect.
We're pretty good bars people. Yeah.
So I would imagine the soccer bars in town are so excited for this, because I would imagine some of like the EPL teams want to claim like a nation and be the Italian Soccer Supporters Club or the English. Is like the impact on the city itself and the bars and the entertainment. Like, just talk about how much influx there's going to be on all of these next year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the bar scene, and again, a huge for us in Philadelphia, robust bar scene, soccer culture, and working with the nations and the supporter groups of identifying the different areas that they could set up shop, so to speak, and claim as their own.
It's one of my favorite things about soccer is like that they claim a place and they put a flag in the ground and they say, this is our supporters club here locally.
Yeah,
I love it.
And hotels go with it too. Their supporter groups will try to stay in the same hotel. So yeah, it's a big deal. It's a fandom. And again, our city lends itself to see all the fans walking around Center City, exploring all the different areas, and then taking SEPTA or walking down to the stadium. It's just so cool. It's such a compact and connected city that we get to see it.
So they're going to announce teams in December, but there's a ticket window open now. Can you register?
I read
for
something
tickets?
the other day. It's opening soon, right?
Yes, it is today for Visa holders. So
okay.
Oh, nice.
So that process is starting. But yes, December 5th is the big day we're all waiting for, to see what teams we're hosting here in Philadelphia. And then shortly after that, the times will be announced too. So we still don't have no game times as well. So a big component in the planning and for the fans to see what shakes out and what happens.
And how complex a process is this ticketing? Because it's not like just Philadelphia area people want to get tickets to these games. Of course, we'd all love to go. You have a world.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in the world. And a lot of people are going to want to come in and support their team and travel with them. It has to be the most complex ticketing arrangement ever.
Yeah. You have to create a FIFA ID. You have to get into lotteries, and your supporter groups, there's a lottery for them as well. Yes, it is complex, but get in there, fill out your forms, be ready to push the button when you're ready.
So how does it work for say someone in the Netherlands? Like, how do they know where to buy tickets to, or will they be assigned? They'll get, once the Netherlands is announced, that country will have tickets.
Well, their supporter groups will each have a
block
of tickets.
Okay.
But everybody right now are on the same level playing field. With the promotion with Visa right now to enter in the lottery to create that FIFA ID.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeffrey Lurie, obviously one of the best owners in sports for what he's given this city. He's also somebody that wants Lincoln Financial Field to shine, and he wants to be a part of these big events. How valuable has him and the Eagles been in helping assist you guys get off the ground and make this, the center of the sports universe next year? Yeah,
I mean, crucial. The longevity of their leadership team is untouchable. I mean, the ease, they're a yes for a stadium. These complex events that come in, they have, the knowledge and the experience of doing it, and just sells it to all the different groups that come in. So it's crucial. Don Smolinski's our board chair for PHL Sports, so we work very closely with them.
That's awesome to hear. The Eagles are just like a world-class organization, and they get to host one of the world's biggest events.
So speaking of that, after this, all comes and goes, what's next? Are you kind of on a Super Bowl path? Would you, as part of the Visitors Bureau, like to have
Of course she would.
Maybe a retractable dome in town that maybe could get a Super Bowl that they've been rumored about.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, we're always looking for the next best event and bid opportunities. I mean, I was joking earlier. I don't even know what year it is sometimes.
Because you're bidding so far in
You're looking
advance.
7-8 years in
Right.
advance.
I mean,
You're living in the future.
we are. I mean, even NCAA, the next bid cycle for 28 through 31 championships are coming around the corner. So your cities are looking at that, as well as, we're learning about Rugby World Cup.
Sure.
2031 for men's, 2033 for women's, and Women's World Cup in 2031. So a lot of different events.
It's so impressive
So
because
far
like
out.
the tech 8 years from now, you know what I mean, is going to be so different than it is today than it was 7 years ago. So it's such an ever evolving process. Like kudos to everybody that's a part of this, because what a behemoth of a project this is.
So I'm curious, like with all this planning in the future, in your real life, are you a procrastinator or are you early for everything?
No, I am early for everything.
Are
I was
you?
here like 20 minutes just hanging out in the parking lot. No, I am super early because I have to be. I would
That's
just
why you got
drop
the
it.
job.
Yeah.
Just drop it
What's your
off.
calendar look like these days? It's just like nonstop.
Calendars.
Yeah.
So, all good. All
Well,
good.
it's great. If you want to follow PS 2026, the website is phillyfwc26.com. On Instagram, it's FSC26 Philly, Twitter FSC26 Philly as well, and of course LinkedIn, which I've been
FWC.
what am I saying?
I don't
felt
know.
wrong. I'm reading
FW.
FWC. Excuse me.
FWC 26 Philly.
I think was that
At
saying
Instagram.
FCW?
Yes,
I'm all
at Twitter.
I haven't had enough coffee yet this morning. On Instagram and Twitter, FWC26 Philly, and LinkedIn, you can search for the FIFA World Cup 26 Philadelphia. Philadelphia, I have no doubt, is going to pull this off to a T, perfectly executed, and we're going to shine on the world stage. And it's thanks to all the hard work that's going to go into this. So everybody you work with should be incredibly proud, from the Eagles to the Visitors Bureau, to everything, to Penn, to Chester, to everybody that helps and contributes to this. We're going to shine. I absolutely know it. And it's a credit to everybody that has a hand in this.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for coming
Bree.
in. So that's going to do it for us today here from the Xfinity Studios and the Anthony Gargano Show. A lot of great stuff. Kyle Schwarber, 50 home runs. Well, what an incredible achievement last night. Eagles Chiefs ahead. And don't forget, the Brandon Graham Show is live on our network today, this morning. You can go hop over and get in that right now. And don't forget, too, it's the Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America month of giving. If you're able to, spare a couple dollars to Big Brothers, Big Sisters, they do such great work in the community. Do that. But also, if you want to become a big and impact your community in a massive, massive way, spread the word about becoming a big and the impact it has on littles right here in our community. So don't forget to get involved with their month of giving here at PHLY. Thank you to everybody that tuned in. Thank you to the World Cup Committee for coming in. Thank you to Andrew and Joey behind the scenes. Thank you to Mike Sealski, the brain, the geek, and of course, Bo Wulf. Thanks to everybody out there. Have a great Wednesday, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
We all silly like the mayor.